Botany's hit. Okay, so where we left off last time was you guys just tortured a guy uh off stream and murdered him. He is dead, and you have 51 witnesses. Uh um Rek and Atlas are immediately next to the dead man with Zarok, just a little bit off. Owen is on a roof nearby. And Arie, I don't remember if you were at the docks with Foolproof and the rest of them, or okay. Okay. So, I do not have permission to play Puppet Master for Atlas, so, I am going to try and do this without having to take control of his character. It's okay. I just don't want to take control of his character without his consent, but, I can just DM bullshit my way through that.
You okay? Do you need coffee?
Are you sick? Okay, but are you
Yeah.
okay? Are you sick? Oh,
I see, I see. I understand. Yeah. I see.
and I just got permission, so
That's,
now I can do this the way that I had originally planned. All right.
I guess that's what I think it is. I think I saw that before. Oh, I did see that before.
Well, that's okay. I mean, it sounds
I saw
like.
Black Mirror before.
Well, yeah. All right. Okay.
Oh
So,
yeah,
so
me and, when they said y'all, me and Atlas immediately went. We agreed to our crimes. They agreed. So
okay. So,
we agreed to our crimes. So
so
now
to
I'm confused.
summarize the last few sessions, Sano was out in the wilderness, digging a hole with his unseen servant for a man that he just killed, for basically no reason. And and while that was going on, the rest of the people in the party went to the docks to see the arrival of a ship that was announced. There was a trader ship that came in with some fanfare to announce it, and that got their attention. They went to the docks. The dock master, the captain of the ship, is a slave trader, and they were trading people in broad daylight, in crates, unbeknownst to the people of the town. And uh, they had been tipped off by a shopkeeper, the party was. And so Zarok went to go and strike a deal with the captain of this slave trade, but got turned down, mostly because he failed his charisma check. And so all hell started to break loose, and Rek started to unlock the crates and found that they had people inside of them. So then the party kind of devised a sort of impromptu plan to release the people and get the slavers caught. In the midst of all of that, there were four people who ran away, and those four people were split up. Atlas threw his spear and kebabbed one of them um, in the shin through both legs, like basically incapacitated him that way. And um, then they chased the other people, the other three of them, through an alleyway where they disappeared into a wall. There's a weird insignia on the wall, but no traces of like magic or anything past the wall. Doesn't look like, you know, they were able to like do anything other than just walk through it. Um, so now they have a dead man. They have presumably the item that allows these people to walk through tangible objects. 51 witnesses and a lot of confused people who are wondering why they tortured this person and why they did it in broad daylight and why they killed him.
I feel like I'm lucky that you usually just have it streaming on session chat. Because I literally just told Atlas, if we end up in jail, I'll tell you. If we end up in jail, I'll probably escape, but I'll make sure to tell you if we escape. I'll remind you that we escaped. I'll remind you. Anyways,
So that's where we left off. Any questions?
uh,
Yeah, you left off a really important part for the stream that we probably shouldn't go over, but it is important for the game to know.
Oh, what did I
interrogation.
forget?
That's all we do. That's all we did. Don't
The
nothing else.
wonderful, the wonderful technique of Atlas's interrogation.
Oh, yeah.
That a mere minutes after he was impaled through the legs and still screaming of shock that he was impaled through both legs. Um,
I
Atlas
think we
then
were supposed to
proceeded
walk over
to
that because
Atlas then proceeded to interrogate the man at that moment where I'm sorry, it's kind of hard not to go over that when Lyric and me both agree that this man, every time Atlas asked him something, just screamed in pain and in agony.
I think that's what we're supposed to walk over because of guidelines.
I don't think so in certain things, but we proceed to then Atlas then proceeds to put the man out of his suffering really quickly without getting no information.
I
So
mean,
there goes.
I collected an orb off of him, so
Yeah, we got the orb, but no
A
information. So I
marble.
don't know.
It's a marble. Don't make it
So
sound bigger than it is. This is a marble.
I got a tiny little marble boy,
we
little
murdered a
ball.
man for a marble. Hmm.
Marble. Okay. Currently, we're trying to find out where the other three left actually.
Like I said, Sam, I'm still trying to figure out what happened last session, and in
Uh,
retrospect, I'm starting to look at the Marquise and go, he was not such a bad guy. Like if the Marquise,
fingers.
if I just loosen the Marquise up a little bit, he might have been a really good friend. Shoot, he could have actually had a vulture.
Oh, uh, can I check if actually I feel like that'd be too suspicious. I'm gonna just put the little orb in my not orb marble in my pocket. The little sphere in my pocket. I'm gonna just say that every time.
Eh, so as these, you said 51 people, correct? Has witnessed this.
Yes.
Mission accomplished.
And they're all kind of reacting with like shock and horror at what just took place. You know, understandably so.
Kind of expected. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of how to get out of this. Like, with us still having good standing in the town, but right now it's kind of hard to because even if I was
Of
to say
things like
he
this.
was part of the slave trader, there's no proof that he was part of the slave trader because he can't talk no more. Um, Give me one quick second before y'all do that plan. Give me one quick second. Let me try to check something. Uh, if I remember correctly, this person was technically trying to escape the area, correct?
Yes, they're running the opposite direction from the crowd that went to go see what the commotion was at the docks.
Okay.
Post
Can
haste.
I proceed to go through his belongings, pockets, any type of pockets on his clothing, feel around. If I feel anything that seems like it could be a hidden pocket, I will cut into it and try or cut into it carefully and see if I can find a hidden pocket. If not, then I'll just keep moving through. And I just want to find any type of documents, paperwork, or insignias of uh, of maybe purchase receipts. I don't know. Maybe even for who he's working for.
Okay, investigation check.
Yes.
Say those be left in those would probably most of those would probably be left in the cabin, but on this man probably in his pockets or his bags.
I'm just trying something because at this point I'm stuck for the investigate.
Also,
I'm telling you guys, I had an idea.
Yeah, no. I know for sure your
We
idea would probably
just
work, but the
oh,
last guy who said he had an idea killed the only idea we have left. So let me just see if I can get anything off the one that is dead, and then if you had stuff to do with the body or anything or a live one, go for it, bro. Because I'm stumped right now. Let's see.
it's the
A natural 20. Sweet.
nice. Okay,
and
so there's nothing identifiable on this man per se, but there's some sort of weird burn on the inside of his wrist.
On the inside of his wrist. Okay, so there's nothing on him. No documents, no insignias, but there's something burned on his wrist.
Yeah, there's a weird burn mark. Looks like they maybe tried to remove something.
oh, it's Russian accent. No, no, I don't know.
Okay, so
Russian accent in this day and time?
Yeah,
Never
yeah, no,
specified.
yeah, no.
They never specified that it had to be not your normal accent, did they?
Well,
It's also
yeah, there's that. There's that.
that too. Yeah.
do your best Canadian.
I actually do a pretty good, like, Midwestern accent. Um, you guys talk strategy. I will be right back.
I'm talking cheers.
My dog just decided to tump over his water bowl. I will be right back.
The party decided to possibly
Okay,
kill themselves.
first of
First
all,
of all, let me get up in this with my ham.
you're not. You didn't even know where you are. You
I don't even
fucking.
know
Alright,
where I am now.
Last time we saw
You're in
you
the
was like
inn.
two
You're in the
sessions.
inn.
Was like three two sessions
Last
ago.
time I was here, I was
You're
tucked
in.
in Atlas's lovely armpit.
so let me actually get this right. So first of all, welcome to finally showing up to session N.
Right? They finally decide that I can have my Friday. They're like, okay, you can play now. We've had enough
Well,
of you.
I'm sorry to say this, N, but with all the other previous sessions, welcome to your first official session.
This is like my
You
second.
missed two murders.
I missed two
Mine
You
was
murders.
missed two murders.
justified. So I can say
one of a one we could consider innocent, and another one of a slave trader or child
That
trafficker.
priest
Sorry.
was talking that smack. He earned it.
Anyway, but
And then
uh,
Hybrid
what
already was
else?
talking that smack, so I had to
so
block and just
for the
drop.
for the most part to catch you up to what's about to happen right now, a lot of shit just went down. I'm pretty sure you've kept up with a lot of the videos and us telling you what's been happening.
Last thing I remember is everything with the ship. You guys trying to stop
Yeah.
everything on the ship along with Sammy
Uh.
rocking the priest.
I didn't
So
do anything wrong.
You
as of
didn't.
right
You
as of
challenged me.
as
Come
of
on.
right now, our knowledge is that priest is still alive.
Yeah, nobody knows.
He knows.
Sammy,
You know he knows.
use our gift. Our nose were wolves.
Listen, my guy.
As
Listen,
you walk into it smelling fresh blood, just
I'm gonna be real with you. Knowing I know nothing what's going on with the other people, what they're doing. So I'm gonna just chill in the woods for a bit.
All I know is my ham
Yeah,
still I'm not gonna argue it.
Hey, all I'm saying is,
Y'all going to jail.
You're going to jail.
You see,
I'm getting out.
you see, you were going to jail if you get caught, and I'm planning on not getting caught.
Well, it's kind of hard not to get caught when you murder somebody in broad daylight.
You're not wrong.
and you steal stuff off of his body after you murdered him. So
well,
it's like,
That was
technically, I
mentioned
was searching.
before.
Technically, I'm searching his body. I haven't technically taken anything off his body because there was nothing to take. All I did was found the thing on his
but it's
arm.
just,
I turned and looked at
that
it.
just sounds funny. It's like, hey, I'm gonna stab you through your shins, torture you, and then look, search your
Oh
body.
no 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 no
So,
no no! He was already stabbed through his shins. He was already.
so let me give you the rundown of what I actually think.
You're
So,
fine.
I'm
I'm
not a
sorry.
dwarf, and fuck you.
You are a dwarf and you're digging
You
Okay,
know,
so
diggy, diggy.
uh, the main thing what happened was we got the merchandise to spell out, so everyone knew they were human trafficking. On top of that, as soon as they split off, I had our two more better scouts at the moment, because technically N wasn't here,
Crap.
to then proceed to look and find any people who were running the opposite direction to inform their superiors that their
they were
shipment,
fine.
yeah, their shipment was ruined. With on that, I told them to then track them and see which direction they're running, so I know what estate. Maybe there's a headquarter underground base. Maybe it's an actual marquise. Maybe it's another noble. Who knows? Maybe we'll get to kill this whole entire town. I don't know. All I know is that there's corruption in this town because there's no way you don't know what's happening in your own port,
True.
especially if you have of higher standings, especially of nobility. There's no way you don't know what's coming into your port every single day. So with that, I was hoping to interrogate one of them if we could capture one and then figure out who's running behind it so we could get down to the bottom of this and clean up the city. Before I could even interrogate or do anything, this happened. So
Went
now we
wrong.
have a dead body on my hand that I now have to somehow try to explain to 51 people who just witnessed a javelin come out of nowhere and spear his leg, and then witnessed Atlas come and interrogate him in a very, very brutal way by rotating his leg.
Wait, are we still on
Gee,
stream?
I do remember that.
Yes.
I do
That's
remember
why
that.
I'm trying very careful how I'm saying that.
He
I
died
do
a
Uh,
bozo. He a bozo.
bozo.
If we were to actually explain this, a lot of shit would happen. Anyways,
yeah. So with that, we are currently in our predicament where I just found some sort of burn thing on his wrist, which still
ooh,
leads me nowhere, and I still have no clues. So at this point, I'm about to say screw the town and let it fall where it stands.
You
Um,
know,
you
that's not
guys,
a bad idea. But I don't know where you guys are at.
Trust me, Sano, I'll find you.
It's okay. I don't know where I'm at all.
you
I
won't find us. We'll find you.
and I think what happened because it was on your birthday,
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
yeah.
it was on
When
my birthday. It was
okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
And
okay,
and
yeah,
and here,
we left you
yeah.
at the inn with the harpy.
We all
Oh,
agreed that
nice.
we
I'll make
went
it.
back. Yeah, we all agreed that we went back to the inn to drop off everyone and anyone who wasn't with us during that session,
Okay,
and they would
that's
all
fine.
be there watching the harpies and the kids.
Yeah, Dad.
Hey,
Mm.
I have to take care of my two mute children, okay? They can't even order food
Sacrifice
for
them to the
themselves.
dark one.
No, I'm gonna turn them into my personal weapons.
Imhotep, Imhotep. No.
Imhotep.
I'm
Sacrifice.
gonna make them go through the ritual, and I'm gonna teach them a little bit of magic. I'm gonna make one of them know only healing, and the other one's only gonna know like destructive spells.
Now I gotta make it a buff. Like
Actually, hold a second. Ra, what's your thing? Or sorry, what's the flavor for today?
Hmm?
Or has Ra not shapeshifted yet?
Yo, wait, that's it. How many people know like that you just murdered this person?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Quick question, Ra. Um, did you do this in front of everyone?
oh my
I don't
god.
think Arya was with us half of the time.
No. Last session, Ra was with us. That's why they tripped. The whole reason why they tripped was because I had REA do it because REA had a very high stealth. So the thing is, if REA had did this in front of everyone,
Every day I wake
and the
I
reason
feel
why
like
I'm
this
saying
is
this is
whenever someone's like looking away, they transform.
yeah, but the only issue is, are you sure you can guarantee that everyone there at a port is not looking at someone or something?
I feel like 53 people are too busy staring at us. I feel like
Okay.
Okay.
Uh, are you guys gonna ever let me share what I think we should do?
Yeah, yeah, go for it.
Thank you. Now, here's what I'm trying to suggest. So, I mean, even though this is like a relatively new area, like not somewhere that Owen has really been. I mean, chances are, given that his whole shtick is that he kind of goes around doing hero stuff without really like staying in one place too long. Instead of having you guys just get fucking torn apart by this mob who thinks you're all vicious killers, I mean, Owen was basically, well, he was on the rooftop most of the time, and then even then he was just blocking an alleyway, so he wouldn't have been seen. So, or, I mean, most likely anyway. So what he would most likely be able to do is like he just comes in and says, like, "Hey, it's me. I'm a hero. I'm here to arrest these criminals," and then he just like takes you guys away and like winks and then like doesn't actually arrest you, but everybody thinks he's just doing his normal hero stuff.
it's
Uh,
Sasha's manga's profile picture.
it sounds like it's a really good idea and it sounds really good. Only thing I kind of question is, are you well known in this town as a hero?
Yeah,
Because
that's
as you
actually.
said, you're new to that town, so
Well, I
I
mean,
don't think they.
is this the same town that with the marquee?
No, this is a town over.
Hmm.
That's why it's like that's why I say like this town. We've been here for a week and we still haven't really established that we're here to help the town. We just kind of been here. So with that in mind, there's at least a decent amount of not civilians but
People.
I actually,
locals
well, hang on.
locals who would have watched or seen us.
This is the port town, right?
Yes.
This is a port town. This is Macking, not the town you started in, which is Congdon.
Then this would work out actually because remember when there was like that huge tornado or whatever, we ended one section with like I think Owen was
I
going
really want to know what.
toward the coast to like rescue people that might have been affected by the storm. So chances are at least somebody here would like know him as like, oh, he's this good guy who helps people.
I want to at least know Lyric's plan. I guess.
So
My
that's
plan is ineffable.
okay.
I
And I
see
am
the best type of plan. I see.
now just for that lyric, and I am Zarok Johnson.
I said ineffable, not inevitable.
And I am Zarok Johnson.
I heard unethical plan. I'm interested.
Unethical. I'm the DM. I can't possibly take sides.
That's hilarious. Okay, so do we want to go down the blazing tower glory, or do we want to go down peacefully, very boring question?
I
The last person to ask that was Dexter Deshawn in Cyberpunk, and I hate that question. I object.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's not one of my two options.
Yeah, so
I object.
I have a plan. You guys can choose to just let this play out and no one will die other than the dead guy who's already dead.
Yeah, let's
Objection.
see.
Here's that.
I'm down to let this play out, but I also am willing to
Nah.
escape if anything bad happens.
Nah. I want to go on a blazing glory.
No one has to die.
Yeah, it's supposed to be otherwise.
And it's a plot thing that you guys are just gonna WTF over.
I'm
Oh,
interested.
did training end early?
Is
No,
he free fruit?
my
No, he just missed us.
my work system crashed, so I am
Nah.
currently waiting to get back in. So I figured I'd pop in.
Yeah, again, he
Hmm.
just missed us.
So I haven't yet explained to them what's going on. Do you want to
What
do
about
that
Donnie?
now? Uh, no, I
So
mean
we're
about Nicholas. So do you want to explain that to them now? Keep in mind it would be on stream, so if you don't want that out there, maybe
Um,
put it
I'm gonna
in.
bust and explode.
no, it's fine. Unfortunately, I am no longer going to be able to participate. I am taking on another department's workload at work,
Okay.
and I am going to be. I'm actually going to be doing about 4 departments worth of work. Uh, so that's what all this training is for. Um,
I see.
but I'm going to be actually going to be back taking calls starting next week when I was not taking calls up until now. So unfortunately, Nicholas is no longer going to be privy to the party.
Okay. Quick question. Quick.
Got myself at work.
Just out of
When
curiosity,
did you get
let me
here?
just double check to make sure. Um, does Nicholas plan to make a return possibly in the near future or in the future if your workload does lighten, or is it more of just at the current time I just can't and I just want to take a step back?
Um, I would hope if my workload does lighten back up and I'm no longer taking phone calls from customers or service providers. Um, I'm hoping I can come back. So, but that's something Lyric and I would have to discuss.
We also talked about the possibility of him coming back as a different character as well,
Killing Nicholas, got it.
if that further answers your question.
Can I eat him?
No, you're not Shark in this one.
No, you may not eat him.
We have to understand Sano is actually shortened for Nanawe. Anyway, okay, so I have an understanding what's happening, or sorry, no, I have an understanding of possibly what Lyric might was going to do, but Nick, I am sorry to hear that you will be leaving. It was very fun and a pleasure playing with you while while I had you and as a player. Like it was very fun meeting you.
Oh, that's
It was
super
very
nice of
fun
you to
meeting you
say.
all.
I really do hope that your work does get lighter and you can come back and join us so I can get to know you even more through D&D because this
Yeah.
game reveals who you are to people and you
Oh
are a
God.
wonderful person.
Am I a sicko then?
Also, while I have everyone here, so that they can be witnesses to this, something that I've been offering lately is that if someone has an increased workload, say for example, but they have one day that clears up, I can make a spot for you as an NPC for a session or two, if you wanted, so that you don't have to commit to a character that then won't be here later. So that's on the table if you want later on. That goes for
Okay.
anyone, but I'm offering it to you right now because this is your situation.
No, that's fine. I do appreciate that. Um, yeah, I mean it's something I'll have to take into consideration
Play by ear, yeah.
and just kind of play by ear.
It's an open invitation. You don't have to give me an answer right now.
I appreciate it.
This is an open
But
table. You guys can come and go as often as you want, as long as I get a heads up.
yeah, I've been stuck in one for like the last 2 months.
Yeah, you've only been here for like what, 3 sessions?
about one and a half.
Oh yeah, your birthday.
One of them wasn't your fault. It was your birthday.
Yeah, no, no, like,
Nah,
I'm
nah,
not.
nah, nah,
I
nah,
don't
nah.
blame him
Blame
for
him.
that.
Nah,
I
nah,
don't.
nah, nah, nah. Blame him.
Sorry,
He
sorry,
was
sorry.
born in that month.
Sorry.
No, we can't blame him for what day he was born on.
Yes, I'm gonna blame him for the day he was born on.
Sorry.
Law speaking.
Hey, we didn't tell him to win the race.
When it comes to the birthday mouse, all I can say is just get out there and pick them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just kick ass and chew bubble gum, and be sure to run out of bubble gum.
Well,
There you go.
butterfly sting like a bee. I know a friend, and his name starts with a V.
I'm here to kick ass and drink some milk, and I'm all out of milk.
I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm not
It was a
chewing
pleasure
bubble
meeting you and playing with you, even though our characters barely interacted. But
gum.
you're cool, and I hope everything works out for you.
Oh, I do appreciate it, guys.
Oh, it's my pleasure, not a problem.
Get the fuck out of the market.
Well, I have a feeling I'm gonna have to reset my entire computer anyway, so I'm gonna dip out regardless.
All right. Well, I hope that you were at least willing to listen to the sessions on Twitch or whatever.
Of course.
So maybe, just maybe, Nicholas can just jump back in.
Hey, I would hope so. I would like to give his story a much fuller ending uh,
Ooh, yes.
than than the one than than some I have previously gotten. So, but all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna hop out and reset my computer. So I
Alrighty,
will.
bro.
I'll talk to y'all later.
I
Yep.
wish you the
Don't be
best
a
of luck
stranger.
going forward, bro.
All right.
Don't get
Bye,
lost.
you guys.
Yep. Don't be a stranger. Thank God he's gonna play.
When you make your
Hey.
kitten do the conga dance so that they wear out and go to sleep.
Sorry, what?
What's your kitty doing the conga dance?
What?
Show me that.
Why did I just picture the scene from Mask?
Yes, exactly. I'm making her shake her booty.
Mm. So, just double checking. Were you gonna pin it all on Nicholas?
Yeah, yeah. I was
I
gonna put
thought
it all in
so.
Nicholas.
I thought
Um,
so.
but there is gonna be some divine intervention with DM bullshit that is going to make it work that you guys are gonna have to fix and solve or discover later.
Yeah, because like I figured the minute he said, "Oh yeah, I'm no longer gonna be here," I was like, "Oh, I already know exactly what Lyric was gonna do."
I'm not sure if I'm impressed or offended that I'm a predictable DM.
Well, the thing is, you have to understand, because the thing is, when I automatically heard that he wasn't here, my mind automatically went to, okay, so what can I do with him? Well, the situation you're in right now, I'd probably just blame him. Hold a second, wait a minute. So, just out of curiosity, Nicholas, do you plan to come back or no? As Nicholas.
I figured
Yeah,
that's
like,
where you were
do you,
going with that question.
yeah, like, do you plan to come back as Nicholas, or do you plan to come back as a new character? Because, like, either one, we kill him, or just two, we jail him. So you could escape jail if needed. But no.
I think it would be more way to go to
Yeah,
where
like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we could technically take him, and it's not like, like, we're not getting rid of him, but we're storing him in the character vault until we're ready to pull him back out.
yeah,
Character vault. Get it right. Character vault.
character vote. It's a very serious place with very serious characters.
Remember, remember, we are streaming. That's such layer. That is so layered, Jay. They build character. They definitely build character there. Okay. So yeah, Lyric, I'm down to do what you think. Go ahead and DM and take over for a minute.
uh,
Like I don't know if you were here when I told everybody what my plan was, but I can run through it if you wanted to hear it.
I was not here. No, my dog
Yeah,
tumped over
no, I
his
was
water
just
bowl.
saying since Owens kind of got that wandering hero thing going on. That's his shtick. Um, and chances are, because when
Okay, wait, that was a little fast. Repeat the last two sentences.
So Owen shows up like on the scene because he was kind of in a really stealthy approach before because he was on the rooftop and then he was just blocking an alleyway. So chances are people didn't actually see him as being involved. So if he shows up and he, says he's going to take the party to jail for killing this guy, but then he just doesn't actually do it, but people believe him anyway because, he's a hero. He's been helping people. Why wouldn't they believe him?
Okay.
It's like,
So,
yeah.
your entire plan rides on a stealth roll and a charisma roll. Are you willing to take that risk?
Well, that was before I knew about Nicholas's thing, so I think that's probably easier. I just wanted to keep you up to date on like what the ideas floating around currently were.
Okay, yeah. I just, if you wanted to go with that plan, I just wanted to be fully sure that that is what you were willing to do, was, ride that entire thing on two arbitrary dice rolls. um,
I
okay.
mean, we could still do something similar, like in terms of like, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. So, are there any other ideas before we do this?
No witnesses?
No witnesses. There are 51 people. You're gonna fight 51 people?
Oh my god.
There's already a dead man on the ground. Why does there need to be more?
Hey, like I said,
You think Owen's gonna let that happen?
hey, I'm just gonna say, Pirates of the Caribbean's title said best. Dead man tells no tales.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
coming from villain certain things.
okay, so I think if Owen would logically try to step in, Owen can try, but I think ultimately it would probably go best if I do my DM magic that I had planned. Um,
We're just gonna see a random civilian. He did it. Points to the roof.
and give you guys your extra plot element that you have to figure out later. And I'm sorry, I'm getting text messages from someone that I really can't ignore right now.
Go ahead and take a minute.
And that is why I censored it so it's not on stream. Um, anyway, so if Owen wants to try and intervene, before he embarrasses himself in front of 51 people, I can, intervene with what I had planned, so that way Owen can still do what Owen would normally do, if that makes sense, and then just doesn't get a chance to, make a fool of himself over it.
Oh yeah, makes sense. I get what you're trying to do there. Um, I guess we can try and work that out.
Yeah, that way you can still play in character, but then you don't have to worry about the dice rolls failing you.
Okay, sure, sure. We can. So if that's what we want to do, I'll just go ahead and work that out. Just you're gonna have to give me a minute.
Yeah, that's fine for sure. I understand. It's finals week for me too. Actually, my finals week is next week, but I have the last day of class for one of my classes today. I already finished one of my other classes, which means after today I'll have two left. For this semester, anyway. So, while this is going on, does anyone else have anything that they would like to do or questions about what's happened in previous sessions if you weren't here?
Oh yeah, right. Um, well, when will I be 7 hours later?
So we could say that you could go ahead and start walking back for the sake of, um, bringing everyone back together. So, uh, Echo, set a timer for 5 minutes.
Right, do that.
W- When that timer goes off, you'll be joined back with the group.
This one. Did you find any paperwork in the captain's quarter,
Uh,
or did you just grab the or did you grab the magic?
I didn't roll high enough intelligence. I am.
He did a few rolls. He found some magic items, but that isn't really what he was looking for, so I didn't put anything in front of his face because he was just.
Damn it! Being a rogue.
I asked him specifically if he was looking for anything of note or magic items. He answered me magic items, so that's what he got.
Oh, the pain of a player's greed.
No,
So,
I
so
went the idea.
the
I
only
went off.
thing is I can't fault him because I would have done the same thing.
No, I went off the idea of we might need these items for later. So I was like, you know what? Not here.
I'm in while we're waiting for Owen to type his thing out. Um, as a DM, I struggle with loot and things that would be useful to you guys, so please provide me feedback. Some items are intentionally useless, like the cow mug, but
I'm just gonna say this now. I'm gonna make you eat your words.
okay, that's fine. But um, some items are going to be intentionally useless. But for the most part, I want to give you guys things that you can actually use. So if it seems like you're getting a lot of items that are useless to you or that are nothing more than just things you can sell or things like that that like you really can't like equip them or anything of that sort, you cannot find a use for it at all, please feel free to provide me feedback on that. You can utilize your secret channels for that if you don't want to do it like where the stream can see and hear you.
Yeah, I
um,
was about to say, did you want us to like put in our secret channels what we would like our character, like what we would like to improve on our character, so you could give us items to help us improve that area?
that would help a lot, but I'm not going to ask everybody to do that because some people are just kind of rolling with the punches and they're upgrading their character as they go and kind of building their builds that
Yeah, no,
way.
that's understandable, but it's like just like for us to give you hints and ideas, like, oh, I would like to be more powerful in my attacks, and you just like give us more things and or no, those people those more specific items. Someone says, I would like to have a bit more, uh, just
Like
more
a warlock that wants more charisma,
advantage.
yeah, or
Yeah, more advantage on my checks or more proficiency in this certain area of skills, and it's like, okay, then I can give you items that are specified for this, but
yeah, or like
in
if
our
someone has
secret
9
channels,
AC, yeah, etc.
yeah,
So,
we can
yeah.
write those more in our private channel so that you have more of an idea. And of course, if we need to, we could pin them up as more of a, yeah, no, this is more important. I want the higher AC.
Yeah, for sure. Um, that would help a lot if everybody kind of like sort of knows what they want. If you don't, it's okay, no pressure. But if you kind of have an idea of what you want, you could go ahead and type it in your secret channel, and that'll give me an idea of like what kind of loot and stuff and like where to take those sort of encounters whenever you walk into a shop. Um, or even if you investigate like a body or something, like say you find someone on the side of the road and you decide to pick their pockets. Um, then stuff like that. So that would help me because I want to give you guys useful stuff. I don't want to overload you guys with items, and I also don't want to overload you guys with items that you'll never use. So I like giving you guys loot, and I like giving you guys items that you can interact with, even if it's just to sell them. I think that's an important part of sort of the DM transaction of the game is to, periodically give you guys items, but I don't want to burden you with the task of having to go on 1,000 side quests just to sell, this handful of jewels you found in a dungeon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the more feedback you guys provide me on the things that I give you, the better I can make them in the future because I can take all of that information into account.
Well, y'all heard her. Start requesting.
Start spamming.
Like especially as you guys get like higher up in levels and stuff, you're gonna start wanting items that have like different tiers, different like legendary abilities, things like that. So if you have like your end game pieces that you want, I will take those into consideration as well. Um, you will have to do like feats of fantastic Herculean strength in order to get them early if you wanted, but I will take them into consideration. Sano just joined up with the group. Echo, stop. You ran into them on the road on the way to the docks. So you are currently in the group of 51 people. There are now 52 witnesses to a man dying.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna okay. I'm gonna look up and go. Damn, it's already nighttime. 7 hours flew by that fast. Oh shit.
Yeah. How do I explain this? I chose movement speed. Just
um,
overall note, I chose movement speed.
Okay, so as Sano kind of joins us, I still feel bad for like just kind of throwing Nicholas under the bus. Uh, I'm so sorry. Oop, he did it. No. uh, Sano joins us. Group's over first. Uh, if possible, I'm just gonna let the authorities keep handling this because at this point I really don't care anymore because he basically fell into his own the merchant captain fell into his own hole. I don't care about him anymore. I'm just gonna look at the rest of the group, send them all messages. Go. Let's just go back to the inn, and then get some money. I'm getting tired. There's just too much shit happening. I still haven't slept yet. I'm tired. I'm hungry still.
you haven't slept for a week? Also, Owen typed his message in chat, so that is there.
Halt, scoundrels! Halt in the name of the law!
Right there, criminal scum. Your stolen goods are now forfeit.
You did some random shit against Gyromancer people. Give it back.
As you say that, Atlas walks up to you and just does this.
Going back to the inn. I guess that's a good idea.
All right, so in
Hey, let's go
response
now.
to Owen attempting to take the party away, there's sort of a glimmer in the air. And Zarok, since you just recently used Detect Magic, you still kind of are a little bit more susceptible to this than the rest of the party. So you, similar to how you saw kind of like the residue in the air that like wasn't tangible but you could see it. It's very similar to that, and it sort of like settles over all of the like witnesses, and especially around like their eyes and ears. And so it's almost like they're able to breathe in this like essence, sort of. And so these people start to look dazed after a few seconds. And then after a few more seconds, they start to kind of like uh, come to, like they're waking up from hypnosis. And they all just,
When I see this magical presence, can I attempt to capture the DM essence?
um, you can attempt, but it's
Hey, you never know
intangible.
when. That's what I say. Like you never know when magical DM deaths could become in handy. Just sprinkle it over the situation and just ta-da, fixed.
To be also, we also have like several people who are helping us out, so it could be any one of them. We
Uh,
have the we have the that one mistress. I think her name was Kara, and whoever else is trying to help us, I guess.
well, trust me, we're technically still supposed to meet two more people that are very key important parts of this storyline that we still need to pay attention to. Remember reading in Joe. So yeah, yeah. So I'm assuming with them kind of falling into this false lull of being tricked by magic, I'm just gonna watch them get stupefied. As soon as they get stupefied, and do I notice with everyone? So like this thing's covering everyone but us, or even including us.
It's just the witnesses that it seems to be focused on. You guys don't seem to be affected. It seems very targeted.
Yeah, I'm just gonna send everyone a message that I can see. So everyone within 120 feet of me, I'm gonna send them a message. Just go, okay, back to the inn now. As I am just going to, like, without even waiting for anyone to move, I am just going to take a step and just start walking back to the inn.
Okay. Um, so these people are also, as they like one by one snap out of whatever trance they were put in, are going to turn around and walk away as if there's not a man dead in the street in front of them and they have no idea what just happened.
Can I have, since foolproof isn't really here, can I just have them, like, NPC basically just pick them up and kind of take them with us so we can kind of, I guess not respectfully, but just dispose of him
Yeah.
so that you don't have to pull some DM magic things too, so no one can question a dead body in the middle of the street.
Um, yeah. Back to the inn, Sano would say. Sweating very profusely because it was very hard work digging out.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna walk by Sano. Do I see the dirt and the sweat and all the grime from him digging a hole for 7 hours?
But he didn't. His unseen servant did.
No, so, oh, okay then. So he just okay.
I'm lazy.
Yeah. Would I happen to notice any traces of technically his Dark One's energy since I still have my magical eyesight? Oh, sorry, not magic eyesight, but I can still detect magical essence around. Would I be able to detect his celestial creature or being god that he is under, as he did technically recently use it?
Mm, I wouldn't say recently though. That was 7 hours ago.
I consider recently within the day.
Well, I wouldn't say that's recently enough though.
Okay then. Well, DM call, so I found that then. But yeah, with that, since I don't see the priest, I'm assuming because knowing me that you have taken a job already, because the way you were making it sound, I knew as a merchant automatically. Uh, you taking care of the
Bitches.
deed. Yeah, I forgot you weren't here. I just had to deal with a damn slave trader who tried to threaten me. I didn't give a
Oh.
shit. But anyway,
Okay. Well,
but
let's just get back to the inn.
yeah, I'm just gonna look at Sado and say, yeah. So back to the inn. Let's go grab everyone, figure out what else
Ah,
we want to do for
pants.
money, and then well, we're not going back to the pets. We're just. Do you not know that everything that they were standing for, that they said that they stand for as an individual person, they just condescended themselves by doing that to that person.
Well, the priest went off to another town.
Good to
He
know.
said he said he wasn't gonna come people got really tired halfway, so they kind of like ditched me. But it is what it is, I guess. But anyway, we're okay. We have one, two, three. He's counting like the whole group. He's like, wait, where's the big fellow?
Hang on. Wait, which big fellow?
Uh,
Um, the quiet one. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names. Um. Anyway, don't mind me. Let's just go. You got to tell me about what happened with the ship, the slave trader. I don't even know what's going on.
Oh, you heard about that already? Yeah. So
Well,
yeah,
you just said it.
like I said, I'll tell you at the end.
Okay, okay. Sorry. Let's just go.
I need a drink.
Well, I feel like we gotta finish the rest of those bounties.
No, don't worry. We'll get them done. But I need a drink.
Okay. As I give a pat on your head, I say onward.
I'm listening to you. So hopefully the rest of the group is following along. If not, then they can. At this time, if they wish to go sneak off and do something private as their character, then that is fine by me. Too bad. Just be stuff like this.
I mean, mainly that's staying together.
I'm gonna send Owen. Owen, I'm gonna send you a message that just says you don't have to do that anymore. Something happened, and we are okay for now. For now, let's just get back to the inn, and I will explain when we get there. Just give you a nod of affirmation and continue to move towards the inn. So, like I said, hopefully Rec and Owen are a me, Atlas, Filtros are all heading in the same direction. Oh, sorry, no, Ends are at the inn. My bad. But yeah, so hopefully after that we're all heading to the same direction and going to the inn. Like I said, if not, and any of the others like Rec or Ari wants to do any side stuff or maybe even end before we get there, then here's honestly the best chance now.
Bite my hand, fill it with chocolate.
Your weak old ham.
Yeah, it's still somehow fresh. Not even the ham hasn't got on it.
Yo, someone's gonna have to cast Revivify on that ham.
Let me know.
I know. I'm coming. I'm gonna come. But yeah, so yeah, and if you want to do anything at the end, since technically you haven't done anything for so many sessions.
I bite my hand for the first time. We did all this to get together. I'm not ruining it here, okay?
Not what you mean. We did
Is that
all this. We did all
imagine
this
the ham
just so you
just
could
tastes
like them more.
really bad.
I'm sorry, what was that, Arya?
I said, imagine the ham just tastes like really, really bad.
I know, right? Like you would think it'd be really, really stale or really hard since it's been like a week.
Right. That's the power of
Like
pasta.
possibly a little moldy and gross.
It's the power of cling wrap. Today's stream was sponsored by no. Imagine.
Right.
Uh, but anyway, yeah. So for the most part, I'm hoping that's what we can do, and hopefully Lyric is nearby or hears this, and she's not taking care of the little ones, but more likely probably.
Oh yeah, I swear to God, if anybody splits up the party again, I'm gonna have some words with them.
Oh really?
on that note, can Recco check on the chat chat?
Exactly. On that note, can Xerox actually rip up a card?
you got some serious words, right? I'm gonna check up on those slaves. You know those slaves that we just left behind like 20 minutes ago?
Hey man, those verbal promises and those verbal threats, I'm gonna double check you on them. No.
No, 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 no. I need to check on them because I want to. I want to make sure they're safe.
You
I
need to
challenge you
defend
on that
yourself
one.
before you rickety wreck yourself.
I'll challenge you on your own fucking promise.
I don't challenge. I just check and make sure you gonna follow through with it. So let me start a commotion to make some motion in the ocean.
Bro, what the hell? It's like bard battle, but like Facebook bard battle.
But
Rap battles of history.
but you see, I don't hear any complaints.
I
Honestly,
mean,
at least
it's
want to see
fine.
what. Sorry, I at least want to see what happens to the kids.
Which one?
All of
We have
them. All of the.
like we have technically three of them, possibly
The
more.
ones we just released from crates that were just transported here by child traffickers.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
those ones. Yeah, that's why I said that. Technically, we have three of them, maybe more. But it's like
Oh
at
no,
this
there were
point,
entire groups.
Rec, if we want to figure out what happened with those trafficked people, we're gonna have to get really involved in that part. And from what my understanding is, this city was not even part of the town of what we were supposed to go to. As of right now, Lyric has been running with us this whole entire time, just going along with us because we said, nah, screw the original town. We're gonna go to the next one over.
Man.
Like that's the best
I
thing
blame
I've
you.
ever heard before. It's just like,
Uh,
screw the starting village. I'm gonna be in the capital. What?
So something about kids? You guys are taking kids now?
I'm just gonna look to you and go, I adopted you, right?
Yes, but that was for comedic purposes.
I'm sorry, what? Comedic purposes, these paperwork say different. No.
So
You are now Sano Johnson.
oh no, I don't like that.
And the other one's N Johnson.
Oh god.
I
SJ and EJ.
refuse.
EJ and SJ.
Um, but child traffickers. I
Yes,
think that I
ENJ.
think I think that's not gonna hold you. I don't think that's our territory to get meddled in.
Well, like I said, unless you plan to really get involved in that, we technically made it. We've made it aware to them that this is happening. They're gonna go talk to their higher ups, and then of course, if the people who are supposed to stop it, or sorry, let me rephrase that. The people who are with the traffickers will try to stop it, and if they succeed, it will stop. That means that this town has people in high positions who are part of this. If this thing goes through the chains of command and is stopped, that means it wasn't a very prominent thing in the city. So let's give it a little bit, see if they actually stop it, and if they don't, town ain't worth saving.
Eh, sounds about right. Uh, it's
And if we
better.
need to, we will intervene whenever we need to. But for now, like I said, we get back to the inn. Uh, we're right now just waiting for Lyric because I
We
have no
we,
idea
we,
what's
st-
happening.
we still need to figure out the whole marquee situation.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. I mean, I don't know. Lyric, has there been any rumors about the Marquis situation? Like, has there been any updates on it? Has it flowed around to our area yet about, they're seeking certain people for the supposed death of the Marquis, or is it just like no really rumors have whispered, but there are just rumors of him dead or passing? Because I'm assuming assuming within the week that we've been standing or spending at that town, news should have arrived to us pretty quickly since we are neighbors.
I mean, remember that was like the whole thing that brought Owen to the party, like the fact that like he was the one who was like looking into that. So, I mean, I would assume they just let him handle it, right?
I have no idea. Okay, so since we've been there for about a week, you've heard some rumors of the lab being discovered. I still have no idea of the lab, so that's on the others. And the Marquise allegedly being murdered. Okay, so we know of the lab being discovered and the Marquise is dead. No information of suspects or the perpetrator, correct? Okay. Uh, but for the sake of the session, can we just say we time skip to the inn so that we're all together, hopefully. Like a little fast forward of us all just walking there. Okay. With that, yeah, as we all kind of finally enter into the inn, I'm just gonna look at the other gnome and just ask him for the hardest drink he has. And I'm gonna ask him in gnome.
Boy, where are you?
Find me.
That is fine, as I'm gonna take out 20 gold and just slam it on the table. Fine by me.
Well, we have to talk about what's going on after your drink, of course, or during your drink. But are that is that bird thing okay? The harpy?
Oh yeah, and hey, and
Am I there with you guys, or am I in the room?
you should be in the inn. I'm assuming
I'll
since
just be right out in the lobby then.
I'm assuming, yeah, I'm assuming it's kind of getting kind of late. You have the kids out and eating some food in the dining area.
That's perfectly fine by me. We'll go with that.
As I enter, I'm looking at, hey Ann, can you do me a favor and put this in my room for me? Cause I'm gonna toss you a bag.
With a mouthful of ham, I look at you. Which one's your room again?
Should be that one right there as I point to the harpies room. Yes, like we're gonna do it again.
I go put it in the room, not knowing what's in there. Shit. Yeah, go put your stuff in the room, without knowing what's in there.
Well, with me knowing about this and knowing that, can I technically not roll since I would probably know, or do you want me to still roll it? Okay, 22. Ooh, that five. Oh, wreck. I'm sorry. Oof. Oh, oh. 14, 6, 22, 5, 13, and a
You with the ham.
You know you like that, Jack.
Being taller than Sano is finding my will to live. It that is the meme, Patrick. Do you see William Defoe looking up at Patrick?
Oh my god.
See what you did, Em? You made me cry.
Okay, so on your con saves, if you did not get at least a 15, you failed and you take 1d4 damage, psychic damage.
So basically, everyone except me and Sano.
I'm sorry, say that again. You said 1d1?
1d4.
1d4. So you take 1 point of damage, or no? Wait.
You roll a d4 for the damage?
Ah, my head! Your boy!
Hana just watching the door like. Oh, oh no, the little lizard.
Go ahead, look inside that room.
Oh my god. Poor ear, poor head. Oh no, my 27 got 23. I feel that.
Hey, that's just enough for my disintegration spell. No.
Imagine disintegration spell in like a little ray gun.
Yeah, you just hear that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That
so
works.
so you guys take your 1d4 damage and then what? Because now you have a screaming harpy and a very very ticked off innkeeper.
Dad, why did you tell me to go in the room? It's Mimi!
Say hello to your sister.
Why?
I'm kidding.
uh,
See, you
your
hungry?
I'll give you some ham. Just please stop.
Says the harpy. Let's please stop after being promised ham.
I'm pulling my
REA
ham
trying to
out.
persuade you to get better.
Oh, Arya, it's not a person. It's the harpy. It's harpy child.
I roll a performance. I'll hold the ham out, but like make it look all sexy in the lighting and everything. Like make it look like one of those food commercials where the light hits it and I see like all the juice.
uh,
Yeah, the innkeeper is upset because now you're messing with the rest of his patrons not once but twice.
what for a little leg?
Performance for?
making the ham look super appetizing to the harpy, like commercial
Oh
light,
yeah,
getting the right lighting.
I don't know if you heard earlier, Lyric, but Ed said he wanted to see if he can persuade the harpy to stop by promising it ham.
But I want to get the lighting to appetize that harpy.
Yeah, so now he is just revealing his offering to her, hoping that it will entice her to calm down and just.
Barely. Barely, but it works.
Lyric, kiss my hand.
So,
You can't do that.
she seems she seems a little bit less on edge between the two of you trying to calm her down, one of you trying to convince her to stop screaming, and one of you offering her food. So between the two of you, she is much more amicable right now.
I'm gonna walk back up to Zaraki, squish him with a bed, and I want to say, I think you've lived my whole life, and I've never seen anyone hurt any answer hurt my family. Why is that so difficult?
Cause that is humanity's friend. You remember the stories we as uh, non-humans are told of how a certain not being but how do you race? Remember a certain race helped out the humans that are like supposedly are their best friends and allies.
That was
Yes, harpies are allies of humans.
Yeah, I know, but I remember me and Enon also not human, so we
En's been locked up in that building for most of his life.
yeah, like I feel like this would be common human knowledge, guaranteed that like harpies are their allies, but for non-humans, it's known but not as well known. Ugh. So my assumption would be, as I know a bit more of it as traveling merchant kind of thing, as well as for my apprenticeship, I would have learned. But assuming of N and a couple others who were more secluded in their backstory, they would have not much information on that. But yeah, I'll look to you and go, yeah. So that's one of them, the child version of it. We found it, and I'm currently in the process of either trying to figure out whether it wants to stay with us or I need to send it home, one way or another, or find something that does, or find someone that doesn't want to take care of it. Because I'll take care if I have to, but
I'm surprised.
Oh,
You need attention. A lot of people do. Actually, no.
well,
I walked with those two new kids for how long?
as I look back at the two new kids and I look back to the harpy's room, they are all children. Technically,
Now
children
they're
love
all
to have
friends.
fun. Yeah, well, that's what I was getting here. Children love to play with children, and who knows? They may just open up to the harpy, because from my knowledge, apparently that harpy knows that you're lying.
I love kids, The Rock. I love kids.
I don't think you're allowed to say that that loud.
Especially on stream.
Uh, no, I meant like children. Like they had a bunch at the house. It was always fun to play with the other kids. Mind you, I'm like technically 18.
You're only a year older than me.
Damn it.
Anyway.
If they're all kids, is was Mind Flotsam or Jetsam? Are they still with us?
No, he noped the fuck out.
I needed to put more parental issues onto him.
Yeah, they're both human.
They're friends with people here, I think. So, while we figure out what we're doing,
Well, I'm
what are you
assuming
guys?
when the harpy sees the human, it would automatically have a bit more of a friendlier tone with it, at least, because knowing that they should at least be friendlier with each other on those terms. I'm assuming
Well,
here. I don't know for sure.
these kids are like mute.
No, 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 no.
And they,
I'll talk about more like just the demeanor and like how like maybe they'd be more on guard with us because we're still technically not really known to them.
well, no, no, no.
And
Let
of course,
me.
with the harp, we're also with the harpy being on edge most of the time when it sees the humans. I'm assuming the harpy will be a little less on edge, knowing that humans are naturally going to be friendly with it since it's on its better terms or better sides. That's just assumption here. I could be completely wrong here.
So, so let me finish. So these kids are like basically mute. So, they they communicate with a lot of like body language, and Fee knows that these are human children. So she's not going to react unfavorably to them because they're around the same age she is. And she knows that N is telling the truth, so she's not going to react unfavorably either to that. So
Yeah, she's their aunt. Oh my god.
so these kids, I mean, because N believes what he's saying, um, so these kids are going to respond to the overall body language, and they're going to be kind of on edge, but they're going to be at ease also, if that makes sense. So, like, they're not afraid, but they're apprehensive.
Yeah, no, that's normal, and that's fine.
I'll pat my kids on the head for reassurance, and I'll look at the two E's. I trust that you guys are some understanding parents, and I'll give them a little couple gold pieces out of my coin pouch that
I don't think we should be
look like
taking kids to fight in general.
I want you guys to stay in the room that we decided to get home to. Take care of yourselves until we get to work. The harpy will be friendly. You guys want to play hero? You can have all your toys. And I'll like kind of motion for them to go to the room like where I sit back with Rod. Like I'll make sure they're in there.
They kind of hesitate, but after like a moment of consideration, the older of the two kids kind of steps forward and holds his hand out to the little one, and the little one takes it like zero hesitation, and so he like kind of pulls him into the room. They kind of look back, and the older one just kind of waves a little goodbye. He figures you're probably gonna shut the door.
I'll wave bye back to them one more time. And I'll shut the door slowly, like quietly, so it's not like a loud
Just
slam.
FYI, what I actually had N bring into the room was actually just a bag of the jerky rations we made in the forest.
Okay.
I was giving one to Fee so she could eat it.
I gave them 5 of my gold pieces, so they should be able to sustain themselves for however long they need. And I'll go take my place back next to Zarok next to Sano where they are.
Hang on a sec.
There's something in this mail. What am I gonna freaking
He's looking at his father.
There's no three-headed mantis god in this one. We can't teach the children to shine shoes and pickpockets.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna turn to Sano and look very, very hurt and go, "You don't see me as the dad, even though everything I've done
With
for
the
you,
Rex
of
proficiency,
how I
I will
raised
teach
you."
them to pickpocket. That is a challenge. I'm just kidding.
Now, to be fair, the sentence was, we cannot teach them to shine shoes and pickpockets, implying one or the other.
what is pickpocket?
I will teach them both separate things. I will teach one to rob while the other shines shoes.
All right, then how about this? What if we teach
Equal
them to?
profit.
What if we teach them to shine shoes and pickpocket and stab a person?
My
We're gonna
god.
turn these kids into very successful businessmen.
Exactly. That just happen to worship a three-headed mantis.
there's there's no three-headed mantis in this world.
Oh, 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 these,
Okay, so let me explain context. So Arie made a reference to a one shot that turned into a campaign that we tried to do called Raccoon Town. And so these people start off in this town, and like the adventurers, they start off in this town as like totally like dilapidated, like everything is torn apart, the windows are all boarded up, like this place looks like a ghost town, but there are people living here. And every single person that they interact has like two brain cells, and they all just tied for third place. And and like literally, like they said something to one of the NPCs about like beans, and she was like, "What's a bean though?" Um and so they found there was this plot thing that was supposed to be like a moment in The Shining where like these two twins uh like encounter the party but are like possessed by the mantis god who was the BBEG of the one shot. And so they're, told their mission or whatever through the ethereal voice that these children take on whenever they get possessed. And then through that, uh the party decided that, okay, cool, we have our mission now, but what do we do with these kids? So then they kidnapped the children by rolling successfully on their charisma to make sure that the mother did not remember that she even had children, or that she even was a local of this town that, by the way, she has lived in her entire life, her children's entire lives. And then passed a charisma check to convince the townspeople that the mom was trying to kidnap the children from the adventurers, who have lived there their entire lives and have known this woman her entire life and her
Just out of
children their
curiosity.
entire lives.
Just out of curiosity, does the woman get lynched?
No, she gets stoned.
Okay, good.
Jesus
Um,
I just gotta make sure.
but yeah, anyway, so uh, that happened. And then the party was like, okay, well, we successfully like stole these children. Now what do we do? And so they were going to teach them how to shine shoes and pick pockets in order to make money.
Okay. So yeah, so we're gonna teach your two kids how to pickpocket, steal, and one other thing, and then they're just gonna happen to be worshiping a three-headed mantis.
Just out of nowhere, having a cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, I'm kidding. Nah, it's not gonna be a three-headed mantis. It's gonna be a three-headed cow.
Three-headed anatomy over there.
Yeah. So,
well, everyone's here. We can
okay,
kind of
so
discuss what's going on first of all, hands down.
okay, so first of all, we still aren't really for sure who each other really is. So let's make this easier for all of us.
This better not be a sharing circle.
Oh no, don't worry.
Sharing circle, pass the ham around to speak.
Oh no, trust me. Sharing circle was passed a long time ago. No. Now it's time for the spelling circle. Cause something doesn't seem right no more.
What do you want us to spill about?
Your beans, spill your beans.
I don't have
Some
beans.
some doesn't
I
necessarily
I have
seem right. For some
I've
reason, we just all magically just seem to keep getting together and just running it. Okay, okay, can you just leave me the hell alone?
Why are you following me?
No, but for the most part though, and Ketchup too, we're bounty hunting. We're doing bounty hunting. I'm gonna put down the bounties on the table. There is a bounty for an arachnomancer. There is a bounty for a dinosaur.
Oh,
There
good.
is what else was there? Some and was it a frog and a jellyfish? If I remember correctly. And I think it was a wyvern or
What?
dragon.
Yeah, it was a wyvern. And I
Yeah.
wasn't about to have that.
That sounds like it's probably gonna kill us.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, as I just kind of roll up the wyvern one again, it's like we'll handle this one a bit later. For now, let's take care of these. So we decided to handle this one first. As I kind of slide the dinosaur one up, it's just like that's the one the group decided to handle. So as I kind of roll up the other ones and just kind of put it away, it's just like we go need to figure out information on this, but I gotta kind of take a look outside. It's a little late, so we'll probably do this later in the morning. But we're gonna go to the guy to the requester's house in the morning. Get
Okay.
ready.
That's fine by me. But if we do another one right after this, we should definitely kill that spider though. That's horrible. Why would you throw spiders everywhere?
You know,
That guy's just
you
a little
know,
man.
you make a pretty good point. Maybe we should take care of the arachnomancer. Maybe even first.
I think that's the real issue here though. If you're gonna take one of the spiders, dinosaurs are cool. Spiders, not so much.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, it depends on what dinosaur he bringing back or what dinosaur he want. Because
That's
if
true.
he, if he's messing with a dangerous dinosaur, then at that
Are
point you
we
might as well just call it a dragon.
are we allowed to have some pieces of the dinosaur? Like, could I could I take its claws,
Well, from what
its
this
tail?
what this bounty says, it just wants us to collect something from the dino or some kind of material or something like that. I don't know.
That's fine. If he just wants that, we can have the rest.
Sounds about right.
I was thinking
But
more of a I was thinking more of a pet. You know, maybe a pet dinosaur that we can use on certain missions
If it's
or.
big enough to ride or carry cargo, I am 100% fine with that.
All right, so we agree with that. Group agrees. If Dino can be kept as pet, we keep his pet.
okay. Um let's yeah, I guess. I don't even know. We have children.
But think about it. If we kill
They're
the dragon,
bite
what if
size.
they were like raccoon size?
Yes, I understand that, but like what about the others? You Rick, what about you? What's your input here?
Just in general, or
Well, in general with the situation, would you rather do the Spider-Man, which is a menace to society, or the dinosaur?
I
That
mean,
You're
Spider-Man.
darn right, Spider-Man's a menace. I want him on the front page.
I say the dinosaur.
Okay. You want to probably talk to it, huh?
Well, you can
No,
talk to dinosaurs.
more like just we would have a ride. So
Well, I'd assume you would be able to. You know, reptilian talk, I guess.
Isn't that kind of
uh,
that's like saying that we could get away with talking to wolves? I actually
Mm,
don't know if we can.
also you would say that about dragons, not dinosaurs.
but
That
doesn't that look the same to me?
I'm a kobold, you ass.
They probably have the same scales.
Hello, Echo.
Are you blind? Just
I
because I
can't. I
fixed your
can't.
eyes, pulls out pulls out dagger.
I can't even see you. Looks all around instead of looking down.
I see you look around and I grab your little head and make you look down. Hair.
Oh, he's so menacing.
Look at how
In
adorable he is
30
with
feet,
his
I can
little
very
weapon.
easily hit you. In
Zay,
60 feet, it'd be hard.
Zay,
Shit.
you have to remember, Zay, my special technique I taught you last night still applies to this too.
Uh oh.
Yeah, special technique, monkey flip, low hanging fruit.
I thought I was about to make a different joke. Anyway, anyway,
But we're all friends now. What about you, Owen?
Yeah, just give me 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Get that town.
No hanging fruit.
I'm excited now. After we take out the dinosaur, we're gonna go for the Spider-Man.
What is it with you and spiders? I swear to God.
I hate spiders, but now that we have Spider-Man, and I'm sticking to calling it Spider-Man.
Oh,
Please make it that when we see him, he's in a freaking like a super tight onesie or something. Make him in some spandex or something. Like that's gonna be freaking amazing. Oh,
The Spider-Man is gonna become a returning villain. Watch.
watch, watch, Zay. We're gonna. He's just gonna say spider suit kill.
oh.
He's gonna say activate kill mode.
I'm good. If everyone needs medicine to heal, we literally have everyone down on our roads.
This
Yeah, what
guy.
we
Yeah.
need. Yeah, what I'm
Besides,
We
really
could.
hoping for is that it's more like a triceratops, so we have a charging ram.
if we need to put the kids in a safe place, we can like give the
Eat him.
dinosaurs kangaroo pouches.
I think we were referencing the same person, by the way, lyric. My name is.
You too, Spider-Man.
You're not playing.
No, I was thinking of like what's his
Lord
what's his name?
Deathman,
He fuck.
the Panda
Panda
Red, the
Red
Panda
Panda, try
Red.
that.
Yeah, the Panda Red. He created it. Well, I don't know if he actually created the character or if he's from like a legitimate comic book, but anyway, um, he does this
He's just an
character
old
called
guy.
Lord Deathman, who is Batman's greatest nemesis.
Yeah. And then
Nasty
he
it's
references
nemesis.
like uh when what's the term? When I think it was Dick and Jason when they reference his voice, they reference it so horribly that it's actually true. Thank you.
Welcome.
And then fuck, what's his name? Tim Drake listens to his voice for like 5 seconds and says, "How is it worse? How is it?" Yeah.
I'm gonna keep them up.
Let do from us. Oh shit. I'm let do from us. Okay,
We're
you're
starting this campaign so long track right now. Would you
okay.
rally this so badly?
No, man, but as long as it was a better place by the end of it, sounds good to me. Okay, we have Tiny Adorable Lizard, we have Owen, and we have Arie and Zerock, and I guess the others are just gonna stay here. The ones that actually are not in game technically.
No. You guys can go without me this time. I'm gonna sit back here.
No, no, no. We are not splitting this damn party. You're gonna come along
No.
with.
I'm not gonna go anywhere. I'm gonna be right here at the end. I'm just gonna watch the kids.
Man,
You know,
so take on a dinosaur and be a man down.
without Zerock Johnson.
So you're telling me we're gonna leave the kids here without no supervisors? Like, take the others with you. I'll watch the kids. I'll watch the kids.
What is
Yeah,
it, kid?
just leave him with foolproof Atlas and
So you want to take the small, short guy instead of the big, tall guys with all the muscles?
yes, because guess what? You are very important to this team,
Look,
and we
kids.
need your.
Yes,
Man, you missed a wonderful opportunity to break the fourth wall there.
No.
They're a little catatonic right now.
Looks at
Hey,
the
so
screen
quick
and looks
question.
at Zerock.
Quick question, Lyric. When he said I'm a very valued member of the team, did the harpy see me chirp or cry out?
Oh, she didn't make
Cause
a sound.
I could have swore I heard the harpy cry out.
Ah, she didn't make a sound.
Oh shit, my bad. That's my actual harpy. Hold on, I need to go turn her off. She's She heard Sam say that and go turn her off. She detects Cap. Nothing.
Dang, you really gonna do me like this? Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
But sir, you
Overruled.
asked the question.
You asked the question.
Overruled.
Man, that's so funny. That's all I gotta say about that.
That's funny.
Is that not a hearsay? I'm learning. I'm learning.
There's a YouTube video out there where she got caught lying under oath.
Nah, nah. Did you guys see the video where she was about to open that bottle and then she hit it as soon as 50 walked by?
Um,
Like,
they've went ahead and like they mashed a lot of the things she's describing to just movie quotes. A lot of what she's saying is movie quotes. Crazy.
but we all know who's gonna win.
I think Johnny knows better when he looks
I just
lets his
feel
mom
I
know
just
though.
feel bad that Disney did him dirty like that. It's like I would have loved to see him continue it, but because Disney did him dirty, he quit. It's just like damn.
Just like
I want him to
what
win, but
makes
for a
sense to me. Why would
policy
you want to be
because
in the courtroom with jurors?
yeah, exactly. Because I feel like this would be a big
See?
victory for like men to be able to, you know,
We are in the end.
able to.
Johnny Depp isn't here. We are in the end.
Yes, I'm sorry. We're actually getting off topic again. We can talk about this after session when we're
No,
all
I do
free.
agree. This is a good thing for men because you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be so good. This is great.
Alright, so
You know
let's
what? We're going to kill the dinosaur now.
Pirates of the
So
Caribbean.
so
if
can
we
we just
kill the dinosaur, can I turn one of its legs in like a giant club?
Lyric, quick question.
You
You
don't want to
gaming?
smoke
What
it
time
and
is it
make
right now?
another.
Like,
You don't want to make a dinosaur ham?
Dinosaur ham.
Dinosaur.
you have to understand, like, with the whole dinosaur, we're gonna have a dinosaur steak.
um.
What if it's like an adorable,
Shoot,
tiny little like?
at this point, we're gonna have a whole roasted dinosaur.
Yeah. So. What was the question? I forget.
Can I take its leg and turn it into a big club?
No, the other question, because I made a joke about you turning it into a smoked dinosaur ham.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not, but your count of battles you've done with the ham will restart if you change the ham.
If I change the ham.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're still doing that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I want that ham desperately.
What what time is it in game?
It's like it's like late evening, right before. I'd say it's probably around like 8:30 p.m.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the group and go. We should probably take care of the dinosaur tomorrow when we can see it charging at us.
I can see.
Congratulations, I'm gonna go sleep.
You can see too. You got eyes.
You can't see?
Yeah. Are you blind?
Yeah, I'm legally blind. As I'm gonna close my eyes and walk to my room.
Nah. No. Does he run into set?
Hey, Dad, I have an idea. What if we used a little dinosaur here to, what if we convinced the dinosaur that this is its baby and that we've been taking care of it and we gain its trust? Then we stab it in the back and turn in the bounty.
You guys haven't even spoken to the alchemist to find out what he needs from the dinosaur.
I'm just gonna look to my son and go. You were raised very troubledly, were you?
Yes, we were.
Yes, they left us in a tower and did nothing with us for years.
I'm just gonna walk over to them and put my hand on his shoulder and look him in, like, get him to look me in the eyes and just go, "It's not your fault."
I squish your cheeks. The first time I met my parents, they threatened to kill me.
I'm just gonna look to him again and go. I'm gonna grab him by his cheeks and kind of like bring him closer to me, like bring him down and put his like almost like touching heads. Or I'm looking in his eyes and go, "It's not your fault."
I know. I'm gonna blow them up for it one day.
And I'm gonna touch foreheads with him and just go, "We do this together as family."
I reach out and I bring Sano in for the family hug.
Nah. You get. I slap your hand away. You don't touch me.
You know what, Sammy? Roll that strength check. Roll that strength check. We're going against each other.
I can't. We're Dude, we're derailing this shit too quickly.
21.
You barely win. Damn it.
Slap your hand
That
out my.
hug.
I was
Dad,
like,
get him in here. Get him in here. Tell him to stop trying to be the black sheep.
As I'm gonna turn and look Sano in the eyes and go, "It's not your fault either."
no.
Tear in his eye. Look to
as,
your
as,
lawyer.
as I'm gonna
Go
as
to
I'm gonna
sleep
pat
already. Go to your room. Just
as
go
I'm
to your
gonna
room and go to
pat
sleep.
I want to pat Ed on the shoulder and walk over to Sano and grab him, like put my hand on him and just like, "It's not your fault."
Yeah, I had to pick up an Uber because mom was
REA, help
drinking
me.
till 3.
Please. Stop them. There's
What was the last
Owen,
time?
help.
I walk up as Zorak
Please.
is holding you and I give you that hug.
I don't want to be. Ayúdame.
It's okay, Sano. We're not
It's
alone anymore.
it's not your fault.
I need assistance. Little lizard man, Rack, help. Take out their kneecaps.
I'll bring my lips
Um,
closer to your ear. If you try to escape from this hug, I'll burn you.
Rek is walking away.
Oh,
We're
R.I.P.
family now.
R.I.P.
please.
Anyway, we go to sleep for the night's due
Yeah, after that,
tomorrow.
I'll go.
Anyway, I'm back. The kitten escaped.
You missed out the best part. You missed out the best part.
Somebody help me, please.
You missed out the best part. You're
Rack,
gonna have to
please.
Sano's
you're gonna have to go through stream to rewatch that, but oh, that was the best thing ever.
I'm gonna keep hugging him and I'm just gonna carry
Oh,
him to the
oh,
room.
oh, oh no, Sano, I can't
Large
help
drink,
you. Oh no, the
1080,
bed, it's
crunchy.
calling me. The bed.
No. No. Traitor.
Bye.
A grill is not a grill.
A bed is a bed.
A bed. No matter where you go. Rack, please.
A patty is a patty.
I'll see you
Anyway,
tomorrow.
like I said, we're just gonna skip
Here
to
goes
the
Please.
Zen.
morning, please.
Hurry,
Oh yeah,
please.
hold on a second. Oh yeah, before we go, I'm gonna take one of those shots of the 200%, chug it down, and then take the other three shots and pour it into a container to hold off for later, so I could use to create more.
Man, started a business within a business.
Within a
Yeah.
business. The businessception.
Hey,
Anyway, but for the most part, like I said, I'm gonna drink my ale and just pack the rest if I need it for later. Cause I had what four cups, so I drank one. I have still have three. With that, like I said, I think we're just gonna skip till tomorrow. When the morning, since it's already late. Like I said, unless the others want to do something before the night ends, go shop anything, go track any leads they had on personal information. I don't know. Ask any questions they want to ask now.
I'm sorry. Now I'm back. What?
Oh, I'm just talking to the party, seeing if they want to ask any questions, do anything while they still have a chance to do it before we all just basically unanimously agree just to skip till tomorrow to where we're all going to the alchemist to talk to him about the dinosaur.
I'm good. I put down my phone. I'm chilling.
You're hugging him in bed.
You missed out on the funniest thing. You're really gonna have to look into stream to see what happened.
Yeah, you're really gonna have to rewind later and watch. Like you missed out the best scene ever.
Rex
I
sacrificing Sano's funniest thing in the campaign.
I really want to see that animated now. Like I really want to see that animated.
Just oh no, oh no, the bed, it's calling.
I'll burn you.
You run away from this hug, I'll burn you. Just the freaking
Oh,
alone,
Nick.
alone. Just it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Zorak's getting into work for therapy already. For his two troubled kids.
Hey, I'm a good dad.
Family.
I've done more for you than what your other family did for you the whole entire life.
He actually called me by my name.
I called you son.
Help me! Please, no one's helping me. I'm still getting taken away. No one's gonna assist me. This is just happening. Rhino Wreck just left me out to die.
You forget they persuaded a mother that she didn't have kids, and they persuaded a damn village that the mother kidnapped her own kids.
Uh, what about you, Owen? Are you a friend? Amigo.
What?
It was
Sorry, I
actually
gotta go make some lunch.
Oh, thank God.
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Listen,
that Owen was actually a genjutsu.
I was screaming for your help because they were taking me.
Bruh,
Damn.
that's unfortunate.
I'm gonna turn to Owen. I'm
He
gonna turn
came
to
in with
Owen.
my
Look,
condolences.
I'm gonna turn to Owen. Look at him and go, "Thank you. This is a father-son bonding moment."
He's not my father.
It's okay. He's still been denying it, even though
No,
his brother has
stop,
already
please.
accepted it.
No,
Mom, you're not
please.
escaping this hug. We're gonna go to bed so we can
I
find a
don't want to go to
dinosaur.
bed with you people. You guys are crazy. Let go of me.
You know what? Just take out the hand. You want me to hit you with this?
No, please.
We're a team and a family now. Get used to it.
No. Get your filthy lupus hands off of me.
You say that one more time, and
Get
I'm
them
gonna
off of
headbutt
you, huh?
you.
Get them off of you, huh? Like I'm gonna hold my fingers in front of your face and start wiggling them. What if I just rub them all over you with the grease?
Please stop.
Like literally, I'm waving them like this. You know what I mean.
Anyway,
Stop.
I think it's time to turn in for the night.
I agree. We're going to bed. Come on, Sana.
No, we don't even share a room.
Well,
Oh,
okay.
they're
Share
here.
a room.
Please go ahead and use my room. I'll share the room tonight with Fee.
No, stop.
I bring you up to the door. I open it, put you in there with the kids and the harpy, and then I go into my room.
Oh, oh, this is tragic. I guess I just have to accept that at this point.
I'll peek my head back in and look at my two mute kids. You guys want to stay the night in here with the harpy, or you want to go to sleep in my room? Whatever they say, I either leave them here, take them to my room, or go to bed.
Or did you want to come and sleep with Grandpa Johnson?
Grandpa Johnson.
You're a menace to society.
I'll tell you stories about your dad when he was young.
Back in my day.
When he was younger, he used to run around a lot. He was such a troublemaker.
Before his name was Zarak, he was Zapepple.
Before his name was N. You actually know that N was shortened? His actual name was In Trouble.
Why don't you tell us about that time he defeated his nemesis, the Scissors?
It's illegal to say that.
Nemesis?
No.
Nemesis?
Well, you have to understand. I wasn't really. I didn't really have a nemesis. I was just more of a vigilante. I was just hunting a guy named
You
with
said extra
scissors.
sour cream, right?
But apparently there was another guy who was more of a local hero named Paper.
So I'm gonna interrupt you very briefly. I just want you to beware of the consonants you use while we're on stream, please, because in the front of the word hunting, I heard a different consonant, and that can get me banned on Twitch. So please be aware. It totally could have just been my ears, but also I don't want to get any community violations. So
Oh no! Please share with the class. What did you get? I'm kidding.
I think I was pretty clear. I think I was
Wait,
pretty clear on what I heard.
Lyric, I'm pretty sure we all agree just to time skip to when we're at the alchemist is about to get into the alchemist. Or sorry, at least time skip it till
Why not both? Go ahead, time skip to tomorrow morning, and you guys are talking to the alchemist.
See, so
Or approaching his, you know, abode or whatever. However you wanna
uh,
run that.
as we're walking to the alchemist, I'm gonna get me some food. I'm gonna buy me some like
So
skewered meat or something on the way.
Are you really gonna get skewered meat after yesterday?
Yeah, surprisingly, yeah.
Get some tapas.
Well, I'm not gonna get it from the inn. I'm gonna get it from like a stall.
Welcome back, bro.
Welcome back.
I'm gonna as we're walking over there, I'm gonna like smell for like freshly cooking skewered meat in the stalls, and just like buy some freshly skewered and grilled meat.
Sano barely got to sleep last night because of the situation that he was put into. He would be very exhausted.
Puppy was staring at you all night.
I felt uncomfortable with children in the room.
I think you like children.
uh,
I
I
wake
don't
up
know.
very rested for having a room to myself.
You're a monster. You did this to me.
I wake
Oh,
up.
oh
I
yeah,
wake
Eddie.
up.
Oh,
I wake up, step out, and go. Ah, good morning, son.
no, we're ready at the alchemist place.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. But yeah. As we get to the alchemist place, is it like a busted down hut, a nice little decent hut, or is it like what's his living space looking like?
I'm actually
Yeah, so he lives in kind of it's like a little farmer's shack, but like also not. It's it's not a hut and also not a shack and also not a house. If that makes sense.
No, not at all. You lost me.
It's kind of different parts of building materials that have been put together into like
Okay,
this mashed up sort of
It's
it's a
like
shout.
it's a
okay.
freaking house.
Let's just think of Minecraft. You ran out of material.
Literally, literally, literally. You
Yeah,
Minecraft.
okay, whatever you can picture for a two-story meth lab in the middle of nowhere in the medieval
Ah,
era.
yeah. Okay,
DnD. Just like
all right,
just
all right.
us.
Hey, yo, is there any chefs around?
On the way there, yes, but
Oh, okay.
not there, but on the way there, yes.
Okay, so we meet some chefs on the way. Okay.
assuming you start
Full
getting
metal.
hungry.
I mean, you pass some food stalls, so you know. Those are set up all over every city, everywhere, so you can guarantee you can find like the equivalent of a modern day, taco truck or something.
Hey, we can find some good modern day chefs. Okay.
So as she
I mean, not modern day, but you can find the equivalent of, whatever it would be in the medieval era.
Okay. Uh, but yeah, I'll more than happily knock on the alchemist's door
yeah, no problem. With the
or
door.
slap whatever it is that he has covered in the front.
Yeah, so as soon as you touch the ring on the door, that would be the knocker, it screams.
Okay, what kind of scream?
Kind of sounds like the harpy, actually.
I might need a reference. Not gonna.
Oh wait,
I
Let me
cannot make that sound as a human.
scream into the mic for reference. Well, does he come to the door or not?
No, not yet.
I'm just gonna turn to the group and look at him and go, okay, so now what?
so she's gonna go into the door.
Or what if I just go kick that door down?
I'm just gonna,
I can just
I'm
pick.
just,
I, I could just locksmith it. I should just open it.
I'm just gonna step to the side and go, do whatever you want. As I kind of just like make a gesture to the door and just like enjoy.
stats. Finding my stats.
You should be sleight of
That
hand.
is that is TikTok.
Huh? I didn't know you could use TikTok to TikTok.
Oh my god,
Fans.
stop.
TikTok on the clock. Subs.
You're a monster. Hog.
Yeah, so he doesn't answer the door. Now what? You're picking the lock?
Apparently.
I mean, obviously a 24 passes.
I don't know, what if it's magical?
What if it's booby trap? As soon as he opens it, bam! Lost.
Those sounds nice, but with fireball?
It's an alchemist. You could technically create an alchemy fire. Just,
Right,
as
right.
soon as you open the door, just bam! Like, boom! Everything dies within
I've never
7 hour
watched it
radius.
before.
Nah, the house was actually a nuclear bomb. As soon as you open it, boom.
The house was actually a bomb.
Charlie
Oh
is
my
here.
lord.
Classic.
Eustace!
The house is out.
The
Well,
house was.
the lock the lock gives easily. So, how do you want to do this?
Uh,
Busted down. Police! Hands in the air!
We take the lock with us and we
no,
pull
no,
it with Doc Johnson.
no. He knocks on the door and then opens it. We're coming in. Okay.
Well, at least you went
Yeah,
into
but
the.
you're right on the
So you went into the door. I won't be offended.
Yeah, so
Nice.
since you unlocked the lock but did not open the door at the same time and they are separate actions, when you open the door and attempt to walk in, the entire house in all of its various pieces just vanishes.
that noise was not comfortable.
And in its place, um
And the dinosaur.
in its place, falling flat on his ass, is the alchemist you're looking for, who is swearing profusely because you just dematerialized his entire house.
And he's gonna look to Wreck and go, damn, I didn't know you were magical.
Not my issue, not my fault. Anyways, walks away. Nothing. This happened before I showed up, so walks away.
The fact you see me here is not evidence that I was ever here.
Oh,
The fact that you
as
have
Charlie
one, two, three,
approaches,
four, five, six
as
witnesses
Charlie
other than yourself.
approaches,
Mm,
Razor
I'm turning this
Yeah,
on to see if it's.
yeah, he had six witnesses that you did it, right? No, so now what? So is he just cursing at us for
is that what you're trying to
dematerializing? Sorry,
report?
not us. Wreck? Is he just cursing at Wreck for dematerializing his house?
Yes! He is very upset, and he's swearing all kinds of, "Why did you have to pick the fucking lock, you fucking coward? You just could have just fucking opened the goddamn fucking door!"
As he's
Obviously,
yelling,
Rex should
excuse
just
me.
leave. The rest of us take care of it.
Like
I
as
didn't.
he's yelling at Wreck, I'm gonna just walk over to Ed and ask for the hand so I can cast mending on it.
Why didn't anyone check if there was magic on the building?
You didn't ask.
Neither did you, and you're the one who's usually pretty sus whenever I put something in front of you.
Hey, all I gotta say is I rang the doorbell because there's a house, and then I offered it to anyone else. I just didn't do anything else because I was still offering it to others.
You touched the knocker and it screamed, and then you were like, "Oh, I give up. This house isn't magical, no!"
I never said it wasn't. I never said it was either. All I did was ring the doorbell. It screamed at me, and I said, "Okay, so that didn't work. Anyone anyone else got any ideas? And the others offered it and pitched in. I never said it was or wasn't. They just offered a different solution.
But my point is, you usually investigate further.
Hey, I can't be the only one doing it, okay? The others gotta learn
Hmm.
somehow.
I
Now they live the
believe
now they live with the consequences of ruining a man's house.
I believe our best option here is to send one person to go inside
I need to go inside.
Inside what?
the house.
What house?
Yeah, exactly. There's no house anymore.
Wait, what the fuck happened to the house?
Did you miss the whole last 10 minutes?
What part of dematerializing do you not
Uh,
understand?
Sorry, I had to let my dog out.
Oh,
okay,
okay.
so Sam, what happened was when Rec hit or sorry unlocked the lock, apparently that dematerialized his house, so his whole entire house just disappeared. Right
Okay,
in
that's
front
not
of
our
us,
problem. We leave.
right in front of us, with the alchemist laying flat on his ass right in front of us, as she looks at Rec, as Rec is still technically caught in the action, and
Oh my
technically now.
god, why would you try to go inside a person's house you don't know?
Sodom just turned it on Rec.
Can't be doing that. That's bad morale, okay? Why didn't you knock?
They did knock, and the door knocker screamed.
Why
Technically,
did
yeah, I said I knocked and they screamed at me. So
what did Oh, so you knocked on the door?
yeah, I knocked on the door. Nothing happened, so I offered to the group, and then Rex said he was more than
No,
willing.
not nothing happened. The door knocker screamed at you, and you said, "Huh, that's not weird. Anyone else got any ideas?"
I'm sorry, I never said it wasn't weird. In my head, it was just that's not normal. What's next?
Did y'all stop me? No. Did I zone out? Yeah. Yes, exactly. So, um, well, alchemist, we're here to do the bounty.
We probably should have met before we had the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It's an anti-theft device, you morons!
Okay, listen.
Anti-theft device. Like if you open the door, you get hit with it.
What's a better anti-theft device than if someone breaks into your house to try and steal things? There is no house to steal from.
Well, did you lose all your items and stuff that was in the house?
I don't know.
Do they look like they're here?
Well, where'd
Well,
they
I mean,
go?
a
Wait, wait,
better.
wait, 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 wait. Where'd they go? You can't just say they disappeared. Did they just vanish like for good?
They went into a pocket dimension that I have no access to.
Damn, that sounds like horrible security. First off, don't be yelling at us like that. That's disrespectful. I don't like that tone. And second,
There is no door to
this is
just
not.
close and open.
I didn't touch this damn door. I didn't even know. We just came here to do the bounty. It's your damn fault that your security dematerializes your house. That's really bad thinking, okay? And I am not the smartest here, but I know that's really bad thinking.
Look,
So,
buddy, okay? First of all, you broke into my house. Otherwise, it wouldn't have just vanished.
slowly just look over at N and then look at Rec, then look at Owen, then look at Zorog, and then look at REA, and I just say, I don't know what to do here. Get him away from me. Because there's a damn bounty that this man said we should do, and tell the damn dinosaur. I don't even. There's no damn dinosaur here. It's just
I
open
can't pay you if I don't have a house!
what?
I can't pay you if I don't have a house!
But why would you have a security system that sends your house into a pocket dimension?
Why
That's
would you break into someone's house to go and get a bounty?
we politely knocked, and it
Here's
screamed.
here's the question: can we get it back? Just like get the house back?
I don't know, this has never happened before.
Blessing, let me snipe you.
settle. Let me just settle this then. We came to do a bounty. You put a security device on your house that, for some reason, now we're not blaming you, but this is just more of questioning this
Oh,
now,
I'm blaming him.
because give me a second, Sano. Hear me out here, Minister Alchemist. I don't still don't know your name, but hear me out here, because you have to understand from our perspective. We came for a bounty. We knocked on your door and got screamed at. So my question is, why does your shit scream at people when they're trying to get your attention to ask you things, especially when it's your house and you have a way to get your attention at your house, which is a knocker. Second off is you put security in your house, which is nice, but why would you put a security so high to where you can't even get into your own house?
All right, so look, first of all, let me back up a little bit here, okay? So here's how it works. Here's how it works. There's the genius of it all, okay? So you open the door, like a normal person. It's not even fucking locked. You just walk in.
Okay, hold
Have
on.
you heard of a doorbell, pal? And then, you guys decided to pick the lock, open the door, which is a break-in, by the way.
I'm
Okay,
gonna kill him.
hold a damn second. Hold a damn second. Because I'm sorry. Did you say normal? Who the fuck is normal that when I knock on a door, your house screams at me? Who the fuck is normal that when your house gets broken into, it will dematerialize into a different pocket dimension and you have no guarantee way to get it back? I'm sorry. Who the fuck is normal?
Who breaks into the house of the person who's about to hire them? Normal?
Who the fuck makes a place that you can't even get back into? Normal? Okay, so if you want to yell at me about normal, then we should start talking more. I'm just here to do this shit. If you don't want us to do no more, we're happy to leave. So just let us know. Do you want to help with this or no? Because if not, then we'll more have to just go and do another one.
Man, damn, like, Lyric feels like I'm being scolded like a child right now, but, like, this NPC is pissed.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but I'm treating the NPC as a child right now because at this point,
I'm gonna
this
kill him.
is well, I don't know what songs, but at this point, I'm just like,
That was a compliment to your acting because I feel like I'm being punished.
I know, thank you, but it's just like I'm playing the fly right now. It's like, do you want us to just do this or not? Because if not, we'll just go. If you want to do it, let me know now.
The problem is, I can't pay you because the box that has all the stuff that I was going to pay you with is gone!
You can
Well,
pay with your life.
let me tell you this. There's more than one way to pay things, and there's also more than. And also, the thing is, you don't have to pay us right now. Payment is payment when the thing is done. So,
Also, if you make such things, shouldn't there be like risk to these things?
I'm not gonna
There are too
lie.
many people talking at once.
For
I no
some
longer want
reason,
to participate in this conversation. And he just turns around and, like, walks away into, like, a random direction.
I'm gonna look to Sano and just give him a nod as I kind of look to the other group and just go, okay, Spider-Man, Arachnomancer it is. Let's go.
No, it's Spider-Man.
All right, sorry. Spider-Man it is. Let's go. As I turn to Sano, give him a nod and send him a message and go, you kill him.
Oh!
Also, also, the door's missing. There's no way to actually fix this at all. There's no fixing.
Yay! What kind? Like, in my head, it's just like you just got rid of your own house. Yeah, he like we knocked, we fucking picklocked it, but it
Like,
just
I'm
disappears.
sorry, but like the logic of that really hurts. It's like you're gonna make something so secure that even you can't get into it.
He was in it.
Yeah,
That's the
but you
good.
were in it. Yeah, and you were in it, and now you're out of it. You can't even get back in. Whew, talk about like when.
It's okay. Let's just go kill the Spider-Man. Look, I don't even care about this guy.
Whew, I wanted a pet dinosaur. Well, I guess I'll find a new pet dinosaur. I love that
You
though.
can
She's like,
have
you
a
want?
pet spider for N.
Nah, what you need? We're gonna have a pet spider. Just saying.
Oh,
Okay, so I guess we'll go to Arachnomancer.
alright, no answer. Oh no.
For the sake of getting things done, we can skip to the entrance of the cave the Arachnomancer is at. Several hours have passed.
Well, what's the information about the Arachnomancer? Because like, there's still not much information about him. It's like, is there any information of the spells he used, what level he is, how strong he is, maybe how big his army is?
Yeah,
I
so
don't
this
know.
guy has the power to summon spiders out of thin air in infinite quantities and in any variety he wants. He can make them look like anything he wants, and they can have any ability that he wants them to have.
God, you're just gonna wish me away.
Basically, he can do wish, but for spiders.
He basically has a wish summon spider.
Yeah.
I'm disturbed and scared, but okay.
I'm disturbed but interested. I'm more interested in robbing this man now. Where does this man live?
Well, you guys have to understand. I don't know how well you guys were listening, but just to reiterate what Lyric has said to us, she said indefinite amount of spider he can summon. That means that if he wants to, upon us arriving at his location, he can literally summon a world filled of spiders within a second and drop it upon us.
That's why we kill him faster than a second.
You have to understand. The thing is, we don't know how fast he summons those things. He could have already summoned a whole damn world full and just waiting for us to step into a trap and then just
Also,
ta-da.
if I just have the mask that N uses, I could basically just get in and get out.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Red. You have the marble, right?
I have the marble.
You mind if I see it?
I was planning on selling it, but yeah.
I'm gonna grab it and cast identify object.
Yeah, so I need you to roll a d20 for me. I know identify is a very specific spell, but just a d20.
17.
Okay, yeah, so you get, most of the information. Anyway, so this is this is a marble that has particular powder in it that allows you to temporarily make tangible objects intangible. It doesn't seem to work for the particular, type of glass that's on the outside of the marble, though.
Quick question. The powder inside of it, is it does how much of it is left?
So the marbles are. This next sentence is going to be meta information, but anyway, the marbles themselves are made so that they're only half full of powder. Yours is half full of powder.
Okay. Well, just FYI, I was gonna cast detect magic next, so I could kind of figure out what it actually is. Because I do know that identify object also and detect magic, depending on how I use it, can actually give me the information of what type of magic or things are in it, magical or non-magical, exactly. So
I feel like we should find
I
out
would think it even more
how
so
long the
because you're an
duration is.
artificer.
yeah, so that's why it's like I took those things as a as a core part of my kit.
I would say finding the duration of how long the magic lasts is actually a pretty good way to find out.
Let me just double check the identify.
And hold up, that's actually really useful for rec.
You don't understand. It's really useful for a lot of people. It's not just you, man. It makes
No,
intangible things tangible. That's fucking disgustingly broken.
It's
no,
also
I just mean for the fact of stealth. For the fact of
it's
stealth.
also presumably one-time use only.
Hmm.
Ooh.
I see.
Quick question. Does it affect multiple targets or single target?
I'm sorry, rephrase the question. I don't understand.
The marble that affects the powder that affects you. Is it multiple effects? It can affect an area of effect, or is it just a single target?
It depends on the quantity of the powder. The amount of powder you have is for one person.
Okay.
Okay, so if you had, so basically,
Okay, yeah. So with the spell identify, if it's a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use and how many charges it has, if any.
Yeah, so this is a single use object, and you break the marble, scatter the powder on yourself or whatever object you want to become intangible, and then it allows that object that has the powder on it for a period of 30 seconds, excuse me, to pass through other tangible objects, including doors, foot thick walls, etc.
Yeah, 30 seconds of tangibility. That's pretty good.
That's a long
And
time in this game.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah. I'm gonna look at it, look back at Rec, and just kind of like, there you go. And I kind of put the marble back into his
Thanks.
palm.
So
I'm gonna keep the information of the marble to myself for now.
hey,
So yeah, that
and
marble is only known to me and me alone. Let's go, baby.
and is dead. And is dead.
Zay,
What's up?
there he is.
You
Not much.
still have the mask, right?
Yes, I still have the mask.
Okay. I'm gonna need it real quick.
You want me to go get it?
Uh, uh,
I do have one.
I'm gonna just need it because it ups my stealth. Cool, 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 cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, I'm going to use its ability on myself and then give the mask back to him. Lyric.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was a question to me. You're
Well,
asking about swapping masks?
yeah. So I'll trade a mask for a minute.
Yeah, that's fine. If you want to trade masks permanently, you'll have to attune to the new mask and unattune from the other mask. But I don't see why you can't just, swap them around as needed.
Yeah. So let me check what a mask I had. Check what mask I had. I had fuck, some weird mask I found funny on Rec. Scroll up, scrolling up. Oh yeah, the Wildcat, I think. Link's mask. There we go. Yeah. And are you good with charisma?
He should be. He's Bard.
Yeah. I'll give you the Link's mask, and then I'll take your Wolf mask.
Hey,
Okay, yeah, so that is enough to hide from him and his spider army for sure. Um, this is just kind of like a cave that's just like he's turned it into like a spider playground kind of sort of thing. Like there's spider webs like every frickin' where. Um, there are like little shelves and like nooks and crannies and like turned over jars and like all kinds of places where like a spider could totally make a home. And Echo, you were not running away. I'm sorry. Um, and
Uh,
yeah, all kinds of little like nooks and crannies and stuff for spiders of various
well,
sizes.
like doing that. Eric?
I cannot understand a thing you were trying to say right now.
Can I draw down a map of the place?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. And then I'm gonna also add in like little X's to mark spots where spiders might be. Like little holes, little all these other things.
Okay, yeah. So
There'll be a ton of X's. That's all.
yeah, that's 4,540 X's.
Okay. And then I'm gonna try and find the arachnomancer. If that's cool with you, I guess, yeah, I'm gonna roll investigation.
All right, cool.
I feel like the fact of giant spiders is not gonna help me in this situation. Uh, Hold up, does the wolf mask give anything, like any natural abilities for the wolf mask? Since me and him traded? Since me and him traded. Oh yeah. Uh, Here we go. Yeah, I'll try and find it. Hold up. Okay. Uh, +1 to sub. Huh? Okay. Is 14 high enough or? Is 14 high enough on stealth or not stealth? Intelligence. Okay. Uh, uh, okay, and then I'm going to walk out of the cave and I'm gonna walk out of the cave. Or, well, stealth out of the cave. Okay, Zarok, Sano, and everyone, I found out where the Arachnomancer is.
Okay, that's good work. So what are we looking at?
Do you want the good answer or do you want the bad news or the good news?
Bad news first, good news after.
I agree.
There, 4,540 spots for spiders to come out of.
A faint.
Each.
I just
Why would you just say
Good
there's
news, the Arachnomancer is currently sleeping.
I wake up.
He got back
Hello.
up quick. But yeah, uh, the
How far is he
Arachnomancer
in?
is. Hmm?
How far is he in from the entrance?
Oh, remember, well,
Well, our best option.
all I know is I sleep in pretty far into the cave.
257 year. Oh, okay. That's. Uh, well, this is gonna be a challenge. But what if we just flood the cave? We get a bunch of water and we throw it in the cave. The rock? Is that a good idea?
Sorry, repeat that.
Uh,
We need to
yeah.
either drown him out or make sure that he can't. He dies in here because he's sleeping right now.
Good question. Hold a second. This is a cave, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Were you able to find any other exits?
No.
Nope. Nope.
Are you sure? There is no other exits or entrances. This is the only exit and entrance
None.
to this cave.
I don't think. If there are, then that'd be a pretty. Yeah, I didn't ask at all.
We need to
Also, I
find
didn't
out
want to check
first.
how. I didn't want to check how deep the holes were.
But also, we need to figure out how far these tunnels go, or this tunnel goes, this cave goes. Because the question is, that then depends on how much we need to do and what we need to do. We can't really do death by
Okay,
cave in, but we
back to
could do
stealthing into
we
the.
can do death by drowning, or we could do something easier, which is just death by asphyxiation.
Hold up.
So if we can actually find out that this cave is the entrance is the only way in, and airflow is the only way in through this, we can, or sorry, the only strong point of airflow is this hole of the opening. We can just let the smoke suck itself through. Lyric, are you sure you
Oh
want to
fuck!
say that, Lyric?
Rip. He got a nat one.
I got a nat one. Wow, that's rare. Wow, that's rare. He just fucking falls over or something.
Uh,
He gets jumped by spiders.
Lyric, I'm sorry to do this, but can we go on like a short intermission? I gotta go take care of some things for like a hot minute.
Yeah, I'm eating nachos anyway. We could do that.
Okay. Then thank you very much. I'm gonna
Okay.
go take care of some stuff very quick.
Wreck,
And
wreck falls over.
Yeah,
and
sure.
you're a loser.
Fuck you. I need to go pick up my thing. I shall return as well. Take my brief intermission. If I take long to start up again, just let me know where we're at, and I'll. Because I need to go pick something up from the store.
Gotcha.
So what's the plan? Do any of you guys have any idea how you're gonna take this guy out?
I do,
Uh, Zarok
but
has a plan, but currently I'm just trying to see if there's any other entrances and exits.
I heard Sano say he has a plan. What's up?
we could hit him really hard.
No,
I could,
I'll let my plan unfold when we get back.
I could also just extremely poison him. Anyways, anyway,
Wait a minute. You think the guy that summons spiders isn't gonna be immune or resistant to poison, knowing that you know?
you're right. You're right. I'll slit his throat.
Why didn't you? He was
Because you
sleeping.
guys told me to go in and scout around. You guys didn't tell me to go in and stab the guy.
But if you had the chance, you should have. Easy.
Also, I'd rather not run the chances of 3,400 spiders to attack me.
Sometimes that's needed. Let me stop.
It's not. Oh, you're right. You're right. 4,540 spiders.
Excuse. And these spiders are all different types of breeds and like right. It's all
They're
different
all
kinds.
spiders you can think of.
Even the cute little one.
Meaning there could be spiders about as big as the cave. About as big as the cave. If you wanted to.
Nah, okay, I'm leaving. I'm
That's
leaving.
that's 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 a funny thing to think about. Actually, I like that one.
Okay, okay. Some of them have hands, and they're clan. Oh
And they're
no,
clammy, clammy hands. Oh no, my
they're
worst
nervous, bro.
nightmare.
They're nervous. Ah, I'm just. Ew, ew. Plat, plat, plat. Like Squidward.
Plump.
Oh my god, that's disturbing. Like, I can't stop thinking about that
Some
now.
are sea spiders. They can literally swim. They can
Are we gonna have to fight Spider Man?
splat 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 splat. Uh, there are flying spiders even.
No, I just think of that.
Flying spiders, sea spiders. All we need is an air spider.
That sound, oh, dude. I'm like I have arachnophobia, so this sounds horrifying.
Spider elemental.
That sounds terrifying. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Ew.
That's a spider. Oh my god. No, they're babies.
Wait, so 46,401?
They're having babies.
Jesus. Oh, okay. Uh, 40, 40
4,000.
4,641.
Yeah.
So, I think I know what Zarok's plan is. If the cave no longer has any other entrances.
You're gonna blow it up.
Sano's just gonna be trap him in there. Can't get out. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we blow it up. Exactly.
We don't have explosives, so
You have me.
Sano, do you have explosives?
Yeah, I have Eldritch Blast.
That's a force move. We need explosions.
Yes, with enough force, I'll cause the rocks to shift,
You'll
causing a
you'd have to
landslide.
spam it extremely.
It's a cantrip.
Yeah, but I feel like at the most you'd probably deal probably decent rubble.
I believe in myself.
I just want to say that letting you put onions on everything for free was the best move that Taco Bell ever did. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
TED Talk cleared. I'm having some tacos as well, or not Taco Bell, but I'm having Mexican food.
Yesterday was Cinco de Mayonnaise, but
I put a mayo on my shit.
yesterday was Cinco de Mayonnaise, but I'm having nachos today. I made carnitas yesterday.
Yum.
I got a Witcher hoodie yesterday
That's cool.
and a Beastar shirt. I'm happy.
Oh no.
What was the first thing you said? A what hoodie?
I got a Witcher hoodie. A Witcher hoodie.
That is not what I heard. Okay, makes so much more sense.
What did
What
you
did you
hear?
hear?
Yo. Nope. I need to know now. Nope. I need to know. Yeah, I totally got a Worcester shirt. A Worcester,
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire shirt.
Worcestershire shirt.
Worcestershire shirt. Totally. That's pronounced Worcester.
Yeah, but I believe that we can hypothetically, if there is no other exit, he's sleeping. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't. Not really the spellcaster here to do anything big, but
Oh my god.
what if I don't know. Oh my god, no, please, no, no more spiders. I'm tired of spiders.
I like how this is only really affecting Sano right now.
Yeah, arachnophobia makes me cry. Like, there's some spiders that I understand, but like most of them are gross. They just look weird.
Although
They're
a good
not that.
fact of them, a good some amount of them are just not really poisonous. They're just really fucking ginormous.
Yeah, but meaning ginormous, meaning giant fangs, meaning that can go through my soul.
I think the ones you want to look at are the tinier ones, right? Because they're actually poisonous.
It depends what she throws at us.
See, the answer with a DM is always yes. If you can think about it, they'll throw it at you.
Yeah, they do. I was fighting some outside. I went outside to do the log, and I put on my boxing gloves and I was ready to throw hands with that thing. Oh,
He pulled out a sword too. He's like fuck it, fuck these.
have at thee.
Have at see you fucking nerd.
You damn spider. You make me look
Yeah,
bad.
damn. Also, the thing I like about this
Oh my god. Oh, oh my god. That sounds terrible. That sounds horrible.
also if I'm gonna be honest, uh I keep on saying shirt, but I mean hoodie, and I love the little straps on this hoodie.
That's good that they eat the scorpions, but Jesus. That's horrible. That's horribly
I think it
sized.
would be very useful to have very large spiders to eat the scorpions. It's a very nice thing.
Yes, but it just sounds scary.
I want to see how those fights go. I want to see how those fights.
And you can't turn it tangible again, right? It was only a one-time use.
I haven't used the dust yet, so I'm
Oh,
very
you
sure.
just oh, you just
I have
very
it.
short.
No. Basically, whenever I stealth, I'm just very. I think the first time I had the plus 12, I got like I I rolled really high, so I basically just vanished.
You just scrouch. That's what it is.
I play Skyrim with Max pickpocket. You crouch a little bit, vanish from the fucking existence.
The land cancers. What?
Spiders. Spiders, my man. Spiders.
For real? I just think they're terrifying. Cancer is the oh, I see.
Yeah, I knew you were still making arachnid.
That makes me very sad.
Crabs are if arachnids have hands.
Ew, that's that's horrible. Uh, you gotta love adulthood when real life comes. It's like, hey, yeah, something to do real quick.
And cancers don't give a fuck. Cancers. Damn.
I remember when I met a cancer. I was at the hospital. It was really sad.
Honey badger. I'm sorry, but honey badgers are the true epitome of cancer. When you look up don't give a fuck, that's what you see, a honey badger.
Are honey badgers that notorious for not giving a fuck?
Yeah. They deal with the craziest shit and survive it and like eh. If you can think it, they can survive it. Other than like maybe an elephant stomping on it, but most of it. It'll just walk it off. Yep. I wonder how the rock's doing. Excellent question. said a hot minute, and it's been. I think the last time I said that was at like 12 something. Cinnabon delight should be. I rarely go to Cinnabon. How is it? Oh, I see. Yeah, I got a lemonade from Cinnabon yesterday, and a cookie. I didn't expect them to sell cookies. Oh yeah, I got the raspberry one. It was good to controvert to what's the term? To parallel the sweetness I was getting from a Cinnabon cookie. So it was actually pretty worth it. Yeah, after a while, after it sort of like diluted a lot, it basically was. At the start, it was actually pretty sweet.
Zerok just typed in my Twitch chat and said, "Why are you guys all quiet?"
Because all of us are waiting for you, Zarok. We started talking about plans to do, and then we stopped talking because no one here was wanted to start a conversation after you left. Other than the planning thing.
Yeah, that's basically. I don't know. As long as they're in there and get their swinging.
I'm not swinging with 5,000 spiders. I'm good.
You'll be alright. Just hit stealth.
Can barely hear them. How about now? Guys, say something.
Fuck, bitch, shit, motherfucker, ass. Sorry. Sorry.
I like how the 7 words you can't say on television were the first thing that came to mind.
They were all cuss words. They were all cuss
Yeah, but they were
words.
almost
Sorry.
in the exact order that George Carlin performed them in, so. I'm very loud. How about now? Is that better?
How's the stream, Zrock? How is?
Alright, cool. I finished my nachos, so the good news is people can start talking now.
Let's go.
Okay. Well,
He said he's
Owen,
making his way back.
do you have any ideas?
Yeah, I
Information?
feel like I need to add 200 more spiders to this.
Why?
I don't know. Please, please. Ah!
Why? How big are they?
So hold up.
Varies. They
4,641
vary.
plus 184 plus 133.
I
This is
cast
fun math.
fireball at the ninth level. Right on us, so we all just blew up.
No, it's not. Yeah, aim at the top of the cave so it can fucking destroy all of these fucking spiders that are just making babies. Oh my fuck.
4,958 spiders.
Oh my fucking yeah.
But that's not to say that all the spiders are, able to enter like initiative or anything. Some of them are the size of a pin. So, and some of them are the size of a dot made by a pin.
What?
I was about to say, can the spiders make fuck off? Can the spiders?
Excuse me, but can you muck fuck off?
Make
What if I
fucking excuse me, but can you 4,958 fucking spiders make fuck off? I'm I'm Mick sorry, really Mick sorry, but Mick fuck off. Mick suck a dick.
You 4,958 piece of chicken McNobodies.
chicken McNobodies?
I feel bad for those just watching the stream and stopped paying attention for a minute and just heard Mick nobody.
Just totally out of context.
Chicken Mick fucking nobody.
So, one of the previous campaigns that we did, I stuck them in a pocket dimension after they found a box that they could only open by touching the lock. And the pocket dimension was the puzzle for the lock. So as long as they got through the puzzle, then they could open the box.
Mm?
So they ended up solving the puzzle, opened the box, and it's just chock full of like chicken nuggets. The kobolds got mad and decided to throw the chicken nuggets like on the ground and like stomp on them and like obliterate them and stuff. And so the rest of them were like, "But food though." And I still have
Free
this pinned on
chicken
my Twitter, but
McNuggets.
that's how the phrase "to be fair, prestidigitation
Oh,
doesn't say it can't
oh,
be used on chicken nuggets" came from.
free nugs. I'm sorry, but free nugs. That
Free
kobold
nugs
does
give
not have my
hugs.
thinking. That kobold does not have my way of thinking. Free nuggets. Free food. For the price of nothing. Just solving a simple puzzle. I'm sorry, dear kobold, but, my friend. Those nuggets, though.
I don't remember what his name was as a kobold either. I really, really can't remember it. Guys, I just got an email from Affleck.
Who?
Affleck. You know, the insurance company that's run by a duck?
I see. I see.
There's nothing you can do to convince me that their CEO is not a duck.
CEO Duck North. 1960 Duck. Just making duck jokes now. I've reached a new low.
Alright, so
Yeah, I think we're just waiting.
over 500 spiders now.
Oh my god.
Oh my fucking god.
There's a reason I'm doing this.
Spider Mech.
Spider Mech does whatever a Spider Mech does.
Fucking fucking Spider Voltron. Spider Power Ranger. They all fuse into a giant spider. They all fuse into Aw.
Welcome back. Wow, I don't know why my mic didn't pick up that whole thing. Welcome back.
Zarok, you back?
No, Aria popped back in.
Oh, welcome back, RA.
Alright, so, Zorak stepped away and asked if we would pause the session until he got back. He is, on his way back from whatever he had to go do. And so we have just been discussing, some sort of like random things here, uh, including the episode with the chicken nuggies, where you guys went into that pocket dimension to fix the lock and then opened the box after like 6 hours of session and just to find out that it was frickin' chicken nuggets.
Uh, can I go look around the cave while this is happening?
Yeah,
While we're waiting for Zarok again. While we're waiting.
yeah, we could do that. Could do the thing.
So I'm gonna do the ting and pray I get a good roll.
Do the ting.
Let's go the ting. The ting.
Good luck, bro.
Thank you. The ting. The the tingo skirt. Uh just oh yeah, I'm gonna go roll investigation to see if I can find to see if I can because can I go see if there's anything anything worth investigating in the arachnomancer's room.
Sure. Yeah. So he's still asleep. Probably will be for a while. Um, and so he snores. And every time he opens his mouth to snore, because this is like old man, like it's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring type of like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, uh, snoring, right? So every time he opens
Yeah,
his
yeah.
mouth,
I understand. I understand.
more spiders appear.
Oh my what the
So,
fuck?
uh,
Does he dream about spiders? I think so.
so, anyhow, yeah, so every time he opens his mouth, more spiders appear. They're like pouring out of his mouth like drool. Um,
Oh my god. This man's dream is just about spiders.
I'm
yeah,
happy
so
for.
that is noteworthy, of course. Those are like really old videos of The Rock.
This is my childhood with The Rock, so
Yeah, but those are still fairly
Like
old. Like he had
like
hair.
yeah, I know. But the thing is, you have to say I grew up knowing this type of Rock, so it's just like I can't help but it's just like, ugh,
uh
like that sexy man.
uh
Goodbye, Rick.
uh while he's oh my god. This man's drool.
So I'm assuming this man is creating something
uh
with his
can I
drool. What?
Is there a way to stop him from drooling? Can I just adjust him slightly?
You could
It might.
wake him up.
No, I don't think I want to wake him up.
Okay, so I had something happen at an anime convention, and I think it would be hilarious. So I ended up like sleeping on the bed, like with somebody I didn't know on the floor on the other side of me, and I snore. And like in the middle of the night, she woke up and pinched my nose, and I
What?
and I just like I just sat up and I was like, "What the fuck?" And she goes, "Oh my god, you're not my friend. I'm so sorry."
What is this conversation? This evolved into something.
I'm suggesting, what if we pinch his nose to wake him up?
Or just strike him now.
I'm I I'm trying to make him stop drooling, and
You have the sneak attack. Kill him.
I'm not.
Our job was to kill
I
him.
Your job was to stop him, not necessarily to kill him.
Oh my god.
wait. Hold up. Has this? Hold up. So actually, yeah, I could just talk to this man.
Yeah, a little lizard that just randomly appears in his room and waking him up that he doesn't know.
I just noticed how much of a charisma roll that'd be.
I
But I
mean,
just
is
thought it
it
was such a
that
charisma
much
roll.
stranger than, the man drooling spiders in his sleep?
Yeah. I think I'm winning in this conversation.
Well, Rec, let me just drop something, or like at least a hint of reality for you, just in case you forget this little fact. Currently,
But I'm gonna,
this arachnomancer is calling that cave home. You are currently a someone who is inside of his home in his sleeping chambers of all things, and you plan to
I'm
awaken
just
him.
saying. I'm
Yeah,
just saying that this is such a weird. Like the conversation about weirdness is the fact of he's drilling spiders and I just stealthed him. I just
no. And I understand that, but the thing is, putting all that weirdness aside, the matter of fact is you just entered into a guy's home and is now currently in his bedroom and just staring at him while he's snoring, contemplating to pinch his nose and wake him.
If the Whiterun
I'm
guards find you,
I
you're gonna be
didn't
in
say
trouble.
that. Aria said that.
Or sorry, but basically contemplating though. You are contemplating this.
No, I
So
am okay. He's on his okay. The way I'm thinking about this is he's on his side right now, rolling onto the bed so the spiders can climb down onto the floor. And my idea was to tug his arm slightly so he would fall onto his back or like move onto his back.
just out of curiosity, Lyric, these
So the drool
spiders, where are they coming out from exactly? Like from his
His,
mouth,
yeah, from
or are they
his
just
mouth.
kind of just?
his mouth. He's drooling spiders.
Mm.
His
Are these
mouth.
spiders also asleep?
No.
So they're not asleep, and for some reason they don't seem to be aware that an
My
intruder is inside their house.
He rolled a 31.
my
Oh, that's why I played it. Never mind.
my stuff. And and if they did, they'd still be baby spiders. They'd still be
Well,
children.
you have to understand, Rec. I'm not worried about the children. I'm worried about it making noise and waking up the whole entire nest. I seem a bit more fearful now, cause I'm pretty shit scared right now too. If it was to wake up and just make a noise, and all of a sudden every spider is now awake and on high alert.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm just I rolled.
No,
I feel like they'd be
I
scared
know.
about the fact of like 6 or 7 people, 6 or 5 people are outside right now.
No, and I understand that, but that's what I'm saying. Is like if they were to notice you, before they notice us, because we're outside, so they have to come out to the outside of the cave and then see us. But by that time, they won't be too worried because they'll just send out a patrol troop, kill us, and then get rid of us. That's basically what the worst thing is. They don't have to worry about the inside.
Oh,
Like I
you're
said,
giving
right
a
now
lot of
you
these
are.
spiders sentience.
Well, you have to understand. A spider is sentient, unless you're telling me that these spiders don't
Uh,
are non like.
actually, hold up.
I'm referring to like
I'm
you're giving them society and like hierarchy.
no, assuming that they're being controlled by a higher intelligent being as of.
Yeah, the spider mancer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
who's
assume
currently
that they
asleep.
would have. Yeah, I know that, but I was assuming that with his basic knowledge of survival in human society, the spiders would sort of mimic that in a way, or at least follow his ruling of that sort of way.
The way I imagine this going is he's like the queen bee. That's how I'd explain it.
Hmm.
Mm.
So
Well,
I'm assuming there are procedures that can take with dealing with
Yeah,
threats outside of
he's the
the
he's the
throne room.
bold of you to
yeah
assume he's
he's
even human.
oh yeah, that's fact. You're right.
Yeah, Red, get a good look at it. What is it?
Oh yeah, look at his face. Let me draw his face real quick.
I'm
Let
sorry,
me
hold on a
draw their
second.
face.
I'm
Sorry,
sorry, hold on
sorry.
a second. Did you not look at it? Did you not look at the arachnomancer when you first looked at him? Like, did you not
I
see
feel
a
like I
good
was
look
too
at him and
busy
like?
staring at the spider drool.
Yeah, that just happens to be at his face.
Okay, okay.
I'm not gonna lie here, Rec.
Go through the eyes of someone who is just like, what the fuck? How is that happening? How is that working? What would you be more interested in, their face or how the fuck they're drooling spiders?
Don't get me wrong. I would be interested in the spiders, but I would still see their face.
All right, so, uh, specifics aside, what are we doing?
Okay, I'm gonna now
I
look at
don't
his
know.
face. What's their face look like?
Fucked up. You can't tell who he is. His face looks like it's covered in all kinds of little spider bites. Some of
His
them are
face is
swollen.
of a spider. No.
Some of them are kind of swollen, and so some of them are kind of
Damn.
swollen, and so it's sort of like the Animal Crossing thing where like you get stung and like your whole face swells to like an unrecognizable degree.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same concept.
same thing. I get you. I get you.
Same concept, except hundreds of tiny little spider bites. And some of them are bites that are in the same place as other spiders have already bitten. So, you know, double oof. I love that that's both CGI and realistic enough looking that it almost looks like there is actually a tiny little Spider Man mask for a cat.
Spider
Yeah,
cat.
yeah, this is all correct.
Uh, I want to ask the arachnomancer some questions.
GG.
Woo!
Okay.
I'm going to lightly tap his shoulder so he wakes up kindly.
Uh, your arm gets immediately covered in spiders.
Uh,
You
Well,
get
Shadow,
17 different spider bites out of that.
I'm sorry,
And
Andy. Your mask is lost.
you take 9 damage from the spider bites. And the arachnomancer starts awake.
my arm. Yeah. I didn't understand why the spiders. Why you have so many stolen. Ow. Uh, I'm gonna.
Yeah, so he's
Oh,
startled awake and like jumps to his feet now.
ow. Hi.
Hi.
So, my name is Rek.
You're awful well
Rek.
spoken for a kobold.
Yeah, and I'm trying not to scream from pain.
What are you doing here?
uh, Bounty, and we were just told to stop you. We were just told.
Bounty? There's a bounty on me?
Oh, yeah. Bounty. Entire bounty on you.
An entire what is an entire bounty? Is it not just a bounty? Pickles!
When one of those things are, when one of those things are like optional, dead or alive. You're just told to be stopped. You're just told to be stopped.
What? I'm just what I don't understand. How is that different from just a bounty? What makes that an entire bounty?
We're not given the chance to kill you. We're not given the option to. Basically, full bounty is like dead or alive. You have a bounty. Also, my arm hurts extremely. Do you have anything to help with that?
No. Do I look like I have anything to help with that? And he just kind of gestures to his face in general.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
You get used to it after a while.
so I can tell, but anyways, yeah. Do you have any chairs?
Chairs? No, I don't need chairs. As you can see, I'm sleeping on the ground. I
Damn it.
don't have chairs around here. And he just kind of
He
like
just,
sarcastically looks around like, "Do I have chairs?"
he just is on the floor. You want to just sit down real quick?
Why? What are you doing here?
I just, basically, we're just supposed to stop your, whatever you've been doing with your spider things.
Well, I would like to know how to do that too.
Yes. Ow.
I don't know what you said. Are you asking him if he has any ideas, or are you saying you have ideas?
No, just any ideas in general.
Right, but are you saying that about yourself or to
To
him?
him, to him,
To
to him.
okay,
I don't
okay.
have any ideas.
Yeah, I have
None of us
one.
have this dispel magic. If there's the thing, if we do, none of us do actually. None of us. Ow. Uh,
I like that acting like you're in pain, by the way, very convincing. Um,
ow.
so, he doesn't have any ideas. He just kind of shrugs. Like, if I had any ideas, I would have tried them.
So, is that like a curse, or did you want that to happen?
Definitely a curse. Do you think I wanted this? And again, he gestures to his face.
Yeah, you're right. But uh how is it? I guess affected to you? How did it happen?
Yeah, so, I just woke up one day and was surrounded by spiders, and every day since, I've been surrounded by spiders.
Like, was it a young thing or a recent thing?
It was a sometime thing. I don't know.
And you have just do you have full control over the spiders actually?
Uh, no?
Oh,
If I
oh,
had control over the spiders, do you think? And yet again, he gestures to his face.
yeah, you'd probably stop the spiders from climbing out of your mouth.
They crawl out of my mouth?
Oh yeah, when you sleep, they like, how do I explain this? You know, you drool on the floor. You're, after a while, I think the drool just becomes tiny little spiders, like newer spiders. Like,
He visibly gags.
yeah, I don't think you want to do that either. I don't. If it's anything that comes out of you, your pupil count. Your pupil count. You're not gonna like that. I don't think you want to. I don't think you want to puke spiders, and that's no good. That's.
He just kind of like looks really shaken, kind of like his whole world came down to the fact that he drools spiders in his sleep.
Yeah. Sorry for telling you shocking information.
No, no, I don't. I guess I needed to know that. Maybe.
I guess that is a pretty decent explanation as to why there's so many spider bites on your face now.
I just figured they liked crawling on me or something. I don't really know. I don't know what I thought, but I definitely didn't think it was like, gee, drooling spiders.
So they just so they just don't attack you at all, or did it's just like other than the spider bites on your face, do they just not attack you at all?
I mean, sometimes I guess it depends. They don't really not, and they also don't, and they do and they don't.
He okay, he is human. He just has a ton of spider bites on his face. His face is fucked up from the spiders, not from. Uh, so what you're saying is you have no way to stop the spiders from doing what they want to do. That's painful. Hello.
Oh, that wasn't a statement. That
That
was a
was gee.
question.
That
I
that that was a bit of a statement and a question at the same time.
Oh, was it? I'm sorry. I'm a little in shock. I'm not processing this well.
Sorry. Sorry for telling you about the spiders coming out of your mouth, and on top of that, the yeah. So they just don't attack you out of respect, or they just don't attack you because you make their children.
I don't know. I don't know anything anymore.
Fun.
Like, are they even spiders? Or are they
I,
drools? Are they spider drool? Can spiders drool? Are they drool spiders?
I,
Do I drool?
I, you drool. You drool for. I guess you drool because they come. I don't know how it works, but like after like leaves your mouth, it just becomes spiders. I think it just becomes.
But do I drool? Or is it just spiders? And if that's the case, what do we call that? Is it drool anymore? Or is it just spiders?
Having a lot of questions for something I just saw today, man.
I mean,
Actually, on that note, what is your name? Other than I don't want to call you a ractomancer for the entirety.
Tiverdoo. My name is Tiverdoo.
Tifford, Tifford.
I
Okay.
think.
Uh, Tifford. I am sorry about telling you such shocking information. Still, Shin, and what else? I don't know.
I can never sleep again.
I think you can sleep. I just recommend try not to drool. Drool and I I just noticed no one else can get in here because none of them because can they sneak by the actually spiders? Hold up.
I don't know. Are they even awake right now?
They're I really don't want to. Do I want to?
No, we're all asleep.
We're all totally asleep, all dead right now.
Wait, you came here with people? Where are they?
Uh, I'm very good at my job, so I just stealthed in to the building, just stealthed or cave.
That's a dumb word. What are you, like a ninja or something?
Technically, yes, technically.
That's kind of badass, actually.
Tiffany was funny. He's kind of badass, actually.
He's kind of in shock. Give the man a break.
Uh, so from what you can tell, they don't attack. They don't really attack you. They don't really attack you or come down here, but the tiny ones do get close to you and like bite on your face a little bit.
My face, my arms, my hands, my shoulders, my back, my toes sometimes even. Just whatever they can
Uh,
find, I guess.
okay. Uh, wow, this is an interesting curse. I'm not gonna lie. This is an interesting.
You don't know much about magic, do you?
No, no.
Do any of your friends?
Pretty sure.
Do you think they could help?
I would have to dodge. Last time I checked, 4,540 spiders, but now I don't know. But now I.
Oh, you counted them. You must have been here a while. I guess that explains why you noticed the spool. No, spool's already a word. Can't use that one. I'll try again later.
Webbing, the
No.
drool.
Yeah. Spider drool. Spool. But spool's already
S-
a word.
Uh, s- that,
Druder.
that works. That, that works actually, but
Wait, who said that?
I think
Ooh, spooky ghost. Spooky ghost.
I mean,
how do I?
you can't be that spooky. I just found out that I drool spiders. So you may as well just come out of hiding. Ghost or not.
Just letting you know, Lyric, that wasn't actually Zrock. That's just me, like, messing with you as a player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, like, no, I'm still with the group outside in the front of the cave where everyone else, because I am not going through whatever much spiders to talk to one guy. Hell no.
S- Sprydool, I guess.
I was like, the best one you want to get for that would be Druder. Or Drulder.
So you're uh, are they acquaintances? Bounty companions?
Uh,
Friends?
a bit of acquaintances. I don't know a lot of them enough.
I guess that's not important, but whatever they're called, whatever relationship they have to you, do you think they could help? And can you take me to them so that I can explain?
Uh, as long as there's no other holes, I should know a safe passageway through there.
No, I've lived in this cave a long time, and there's only one way in and one way out.
Ah,
That's why I decided to live here, is so that no one could sneak up on me, but I guess that plan failed.
yeah. I am sorry.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not that mad about it. You told me I drool spiders. I have no reason not to believe you. It makes a lot of sense. And you haven't killed me yet, so I guess that's a plus. I got that going for me, which is nice.
Yeah. Honestly, with my previous perceptions of you, I think this is actually better than I expected. This is actually better.
Oh, well, I guess that's good news. Where are your friends?
Outside the
Acquaintances?
cave, outside the cave right now.
Oh,
Outside the cave. That's why I talked about this. That's why talked about leaving.
oh, I guess that makes sense. Sorry, I'm kind of in shock right now.
But I feel like the fact that uh, there's so many holes that basically is just there's a ton of holes. I don't think they'd be able to get through depending on how big the spiders you make grow to.
Oh, Well, I can't really answer that question. The spiders are all different.
Yeah. Damn it. Just don't fall asleep and I'll be back in like 30 minutes. I'll be back in like 30, 15 minutes. 30.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay, so as they were talking in the cave and they were all doing that, while we're still above the cave area, as if I look around the area, what does the area look like
The cave or the area around the cave? Just to
around the
clarify.
cave, around the cave, around the cave?
It's kind of like a wooded area. There's a sort of like not.
Perfect. That's all I needed to know.
Oh, okay. I guess we can skip the rest of that
So,
description.
yeah, no, that works perfectly for me. That's all I needed to know. As long as there is vegetation, that's all I cared about. And you told me trees, and that means vegetation. Let's go, baby. All I'm going to have to do is tell the rest of the group that's not here, so everyone except Rec, to go around and start collecting wood and uh, young green wood. And if anyone has rubber, hand it over.
I guess I'll go and try to find some wood.
Are you building a catapult?
Don't worry about it. Just wait a minute. You'll love this.
Also, it is 4 minutes until end of session.
Perfect. That's all I need to know. Because we can end it there and start next session where the fun begins. This is all I'm going to do. After everyone, after if we can, I would like to get enough fire, or I would sorry, not fire. I would like to get enough wood and materials from green vegetation to dry wood, very good dry wood, hardwood at that, so that when it burns, it leaves a nice hot ember and coal. Uh, as well as that, I would like to get very much wood that's called fat wood, which means wood that has a very a huge amount of sap and resin inside of it, so that when it burns very very hot.
And very
Uh,
slowly.
oh yeah. So with that, I would also like I said, a lot of green vegetation, so green young saplings, tree leaves, young trees, all those kind of things. Rubber, if possible, if we can find rubber or have, people have rubber on them, I would like to get some of it. Then create a giant bonfire with using the natural flow of the cave, because from what Rek has told me, that seems to be the only one from what he's found so far, from what he last told us. I'm going to use it so that the natural airflow of the cave sucks the smoke into the cave.
Okay. Makes sense.
And I'm going to create a giant, as big as I can, a giant bonfire roughly around the perfect spot in front of the cave, to where the airflow is sucks in the most smoke, and give roughly about how long would you say the conversation between Rek and the the elf inside was,
Probably
including
like
the
a good
time of him traveling to there and then now traveling back?
probably like a good 20, 30 minutes.
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, so roughly for that time span, I like to have to create a giant bonfire and just have it ready to light. And I would like to create basically a prison match. And if I need to describe that for you, I will happily do it. But if you already know it, then I don't need to describe it.
No, you're good.
Okay, works for me. Um, but yeah, I like to create a prison match and get it ready to be lit upon, just a quick little strike and get it on that bonfire. And but for now, I like to just have that ready to go, because the minute I want it, I am going to.
Light
You
it.
know, a druid would be rather lovely in this situation.
And just for that, I'm gonna light it. Not kidding.
No, like
No, but
actually, we need speak with we need speak with animals. I think spiders count. I think spiders.
trust me, we don't need to speak with animals. But with that, yeah, we can end session there.
Right on time.
Yeah, we.
Sounds good to me. I don't know if everybody saw that I'm not gonna be here for probably the next 2 sessions, but
It's okay. It's okay.
yeah, I mean,
Do we have? Does Lyric have permission, just so that we all are here and
yeah,
witness this, to
I'll work it out
NPC?
with Lyric.
Yeah, to NPC you.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Um,
Yeah, I was gonna use Atlas, but I decided not to and just did the magical DM bullshit thing instead.
Wait, I was like, were you gonna use Atlas as the fall guy?
No, so I was gonna have him sort of be the catalyst, but Owen stepped in to do that instead.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, it's like, hold a second. You gonna make Atlas the fall guy? Hold a second. I was like, oh
I did
shit.
not want to tell him he was going to prison.
uh,
You
no,
put yourself
the
inside.
original plan was that I was going to use Atlas as a distraction to like get everyone's attention, and then while everyone's attention was got, then the magical DM bullshit was gonna happen, but Owen stepped in and did that instead, so I just used Owen and made the magical DM bullshit happen.
cool.
Yeah. I'm still sad that I couldn't capture any of that magical DM bullshit so I could use for later uses. Like you can't blame me for trying, right?
But now you guys have to find out who did it.
Oh yeah, that's pretty easy as I look up towards the sky and wave at Lyric. Hi, Lyric. But yes, session was very fun this time. Holy crap! Like,
We didn't do much, but we did stuff.
I
Yes,
don't
we
know.
did.
I feel like you
Okay.
guys got a lot of stuff done. I mean, you pissed off the alchemist. You grouped up. You stayed as a group. That's the accomplishment of the day. But, uh, I mean, you grouped
Nah,
up.
nah, we met. Best
You
ending.
I yeah, so here's the thing. I told myself last session that you guys wouldn't get a level up because you probably weren't going to kill anything. So instead of a
Yeah.
level, you guys can pick a feat because it's been a while since you've gotten a level or anything else. So you can give yourself a
Mobile
bonus
feet. Let's
feat.
go.
It's a random feat of our choice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Yep.
I
Well,
chose mobile feet.
of
I
course, you
chose the
must.
mobile feet because now I don't get attack of opportunities, and I can dash. And now whenever I dash, I
Of
also
course,
get a plus 10.
don't forget about the prerequisite,
Ooh,
guys. You
excuse
guys
me.
also have to meet the prerequisites. So watch for those.
I have a the prerequisite is max dex, right? I have max dex. I think I'm good enough. I think
Holy shit! There's some feats specified only for gnomes. It's just like, oh god, this is actually pretty good.
yeah. You are exceptionally at speedy gain following.
There's one
I'm gonna.
for Sphyrnophoblin or however you say that word.
Huh?
For the deep rock gnomes that live in the Underdark. That they
Oh,
can cast non-detection at will.
Oh yeah,
there we
yeah,
go.
yeah. I believe
Anyway,
I'm
I'm
not a
gonna
deep
cut the
rock
stream.
gnome, but I am a rock gnome.